Would you agree that the subject of where life came from and evolution, all that, would you agree that's a controversial subject? This is kind of getting people riled up a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little story, but before I do, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm going to approach this from an angle that very few of you probably ever heard before. And as the story unfolds, I think you'll see that. But by the time we're done, I think we will have reduced some very big questions to some very simple principles, and I think you'll feel empowered. I think that this war between science and faith is totally a figment of imaginations, actually. But the war doesn't stop until you kind of diffuse the fear and be willing to dive in and see, well, what does science really say? What does the Bible really say? What is faith really all about? What is the relationship between science and faith? And this story starts in China, in southern China, where my brother lived for 4 years, on this bus. I know that doesn't look like much of a bus, but that's the Chinese version of a bus. What was going on, I guess you might say, my younger brother was growing up. My younger brother he's a very, very bright, smart, sharp guy, maybe even more than he knows sometimes. He had been to seminary, he had extensive Bible education, but the growing up part was he had got to a point where he was asking questions that he had been afraid to ask, and he was not liking some of the answers that he came up with, and he was really in a process of throwing his Christian faith out the window. Okay, and this had me very rattled. Okay, he and I are both pastors' kids, actually, and I kind of had my meandering path. He had never strayed far from it. And then all of a sudden, at what, age 30 or something, he goes, and so we're riding on this bus and we're having this argument about a whole bunch of stuff, and the subject of kind of the creation and evolution stuff kind of came up. And I said, Brian, you don't honestly believe, like, look at the hand at the end of your arm. You don't, like, honestly believe that that's the result of some kind of accident to you. Okay? And he says, well, now hang on just a second. And he was ready for this question. Okay? He says, now I want you to, and he's coming right back at me. He says, let's say that there's like 500 million falcons flying around and eating and pooping and everything that falcons do, okay? And you got 500 million of them, and you got 500 million years that they're doing all this, and every once in a while, one of them accidentally develops, some new gene or some new muscle, and it can see better, and then it can catch its prey better than all the other falcons, and then it ends up, overcoming all the other ones through natural selection, and then the falcons get a little better, they get a little better, they get a little better. And hey, if you got a few billion years, how do you know that can't happen? Okay, and when he asked me that, I knew I didn't really have an answer, and doggone it, he might be right. Now I'm even more rattled, okay? And I should add that this particular topic was one that I've done a lot of different things in my life. I used to be in acoustics. I designed the speakers in the 95 Jeep Cherokee and the 94 Ford Pro and the 94 Acura Victor. Okay, so I've done acoustics. I wrote an Ethernet book. Ethernet is that blue cable that plugs into your computer and gets you on the internet. I learned, mastered, I did that. Okay, I'm a high-priced business consultant. I've done that. I've done a lot of different things. And one of the things that you learn as you go into different fields and you like you're going to learn something new and you go into it, you always find that the way you thought things were when you first went into them, and then the way things really are once you really learn it are often very, very different. Like what you think is important is very, very different. And what I knew about this whole creation evolution thing was I didn't know enough to know. Okay? And then like a really simple answer like the one that I'm asking him, like, well, gee, you look at your hand, you don't think that could like be the result of an accident or something? That's a very shallow way of asking a very complex question, and most people just sort of glaze over or just pick a side and then cling to it. And it's like, well, gee, I really don't know the answer to this, but I was so bothered that I decided I better go start looking. Well, so I start looking, and I go home, and I start buying books, and I start surfing the internet. And I very, very quickly, and I think a lot of you guys will relate to this, I very quickly became just literally nauseated at the people screaming at each other over these questions. Okay? Like, gee, do you think you could have any more angst than you've got? The creationists are screaming at the evolutionists, and the evolutionists are screaming at the creationists. It's like nobody's really listening to each other. And that really bothered me. And it was also a sign that maybe, the ones that are yelling the loudest, maybe those are the ones that you should not be listening to if you want to actually learn something. But then there was another level that this bothered me, which was most of what these people are arguing about is not stuff that you could ever come to a solid conclusion about anyway. Okay, so let's take, for example, fossils. Somebody lays a whole bunch of fossils on the table, and they say, see, these fossils tell this story. And then some other guy walks in the room and goes, no, you idiot, here, watch this. And he rearranges them all. He says, no, see, they tell this story. And you just argue about this back and forth and back and forth. And what bothered me was most of this argument never seemed to get down to any kind of solid core principle of something that you can sink your teeth into. And I have an engineering degree, I've had enough math, I've had enough physics. Like, there ought to be a better way to get to the bottom of these questions than all this political stuff that you read in the newspaper. And so I had a sense of what I was looking for. And that sense mostly just came from having done other completely different things. And there was a sort of familiarity to, okay, I start at the beginning and everything's really confusing, but by the time I get to the end, there's a certain way that this ought to feel. And I will also add that I was open to wherever this led me. Okay? It's like, okay, whatever the truth is about this, I want to know. I just want to know. And so, here's what we're going to talk about today. Is life random? This is a major fundamental question. Is evolution random? To whatever extent that evolution may happen. And by the way, I don't look at creation versus evolution as an either or question. That's one of the things that's going to come out of our discussion tonight. And to whatever extent evolution happens, how does it happen? Okay, that's a really important question. Okay, is it creation versus evolution, or is there actually, are there things on both sides of this argument that are both right? Is there a synthesis? And new directions for the origins debate. So I'm gonna lay some background here, and show you a couple things. There are some things that happen that are very orderly that nobody has to design. For example, I got a picture of a tornado here, and if you got hot air and cold air and moisture and time in just the proper mixture, you get tornadoes. Okay? Does everybody agree? Nobody has to design a tornado. God does not have to decree there is going to be, you could have a theological argument about whether God does that or not. but, but, you know, clouds go across the sky, nobody has to design that. Tornadoes happen, nobody has to design a tornado. Does anybody have to design a snowflake? No, no. You take water, cold air, gravity, wind, it blows up and down. Well, I can see that's hail, right? And the ice crystal is falling and it grows and you get a snowflake, and every single one is different, but they have, you know, these similar patterns. Nobody has to design an individual snowflake. It occurs naturally, okay? And just so you understand why I'm bringing up this example, a lot of people say, well, life occurs naturally, just like snowflakes do. Well, we're going to come around to that question, and we're going to look at that. Now, what I just showed is two naturally occurring patterns: a snowflake, a hurricane, the tornado. Now let's talk about a different kind of thing. Okay, music is design, meaning, and when I talk about a design, let me explain what I mean when I use the word design. When I use the word design, I mean there is a plan that comes before the thing is built. There is a plan first, and then the plan is implemented. Okay? Now on the left, I got a sheet of music. Okay? That's a symbolic representation of the music, which is not the same as what you hear when a band is playing, but it's the same music. You understand what I'm saying? Or I can take a book, okay, and I can read out of the book. And the words that I say are the same as the words on the page, but they're actually a completely different form. One is ink on a piece of paper, the other one is a sound, but in either case you have to interpret it in order for it to have meaning, okay? Microsoft Windows. On that CD is actually just a bunch of ones and zeros, but when you decode the ones and zeros, you get a screen, and it looks like what you see on the right. So you have a symbolic representation of the program, that's on the left. Then you have the implementation of the program, that's on the right. So software is something that's designed. Music is something that is designed, okay? The software like happened naturally, as far as you know, as far as you've ever seen. Now, this music, you know, like with chords and quarter notes and eighth notes and time signatures, does music happen naturally? Not as far as we know, okay? And so I want to illustrate a distinction here between a pattern and information. A naturally occurring pattern, like a tornado or a snowflake, comes from chaos. There's a whole field of science called chaos theory that talks about why every snowflake is a little different. It's simply matter and energy. It requires no thought on the part of anybody. On the right, a piece of music, a map of Washington, D.C., Chinese symbols, a piece of software. All those are information-based, okay? They're based on a code. A sheet of music, is that a code? A quarter note, an eighth note, a rest, that's a code, right? And all musicians agree on what quarter note is, so they can all play, right? Or maps, or Chinese, you know, everybody that reads Chinese agrees what that symbol means, and so because there's an agreement on what symbols mean, then you can read it. Well, when you get into the realm of information, you're not dealing with matter, you're not dealing with only matter and energy. Information is a separate entity. Information is something different than just matter and energy. And information always requires thought. Okay? So now, let's talk about DNA. Every cell in your body has a strand of DNA with about 3 billion letters in it. Okay? The shortest DNA that's ever found in nature is like 500,000 letters. Yours is 3 billion. It would fill volumes of encyclopedias. It's about the same amount of information as you can put on an entire CD. Like if you burn a CD, if you burn it till it's full, that's about how much information is stored in every cell of your body, and it's a plan for building your body. Okay, and the way just a real rudimentary explanation of DNA is it's a helix. It's got these two strands that twist around, and in the middle are like rungs of a ladder. And when DNA makes a copy of itself, that helix splits, that ladder splits, and chemicals come and they fill in, they come into place and they match where the old one was, and then another rung comes up, and when it's done, there's two strands of DNA instead of one, and they're identical and they have the same letters. And by letters, those little rungs of the ladder are bases called adenine, thymine, cytosine, or guanine. It's a 4-letter alphabet. So like computers have ones and zeros, that's a 2-letter alphabet. DNA is a 4-letter alphabet with four letters, okay? It encodes all the information necessary for life, 500,000 to 3 billion letters, okay? And there's something very interesting about DNA is that those letters form characters, and the characters form letters, and the letters form words, and the words form sentences, and the sentences form paragraphs, and the paragraphs form chapters. You ever heard of chromosomes? You can think of chromosomes as chapters in the book of DNA, and you have 46 of them. So it's like 46 chapters, and there's a whole hierarchy of language. Just like English has all those things on the right, all the things on the left, nucleotide, codon, gene, operon, regulon, chromosome, those are hierarchies of DNA information. DNA is not just a chemical, but the pattern in the chemical is a language. Okay, it has all the same characteristics as a computer language, or kind of like music, or any number of human languages. You can, if you went and you studied books on linguistics, most books, many books on linguistics at least mention that DNA has a semantical structure that's rather similar to human language. Okay? So here's the question. Is DNA a pattern like snowflakes and hurricanes, or is it a language? Well, DNA is a code. And that's a really important, the idea of a code, that there is a symbolic relationship, that when those letters are strung together, they form instructions. And the instructions tell a cell how to build a leg, a claw, an arm, a wing, an eye, just like your watch might have instructions to beep it at you at 7:30 in the morning. It has instructions in the exact same sense as a computer language, okay? A DNA molecule symbolically represents something other than yourself. Somebody can scrape a little cell of skin and put it under a microscope, and if they were smart enough and they had enough data, they could go, oh, that's you. Now, that strand of DNA is not you, but it is a representation of you, right? So is DNA more like a stalactite, a tornado, a snowflake? Or is it more like music, maps, computer programs, and Chinese? It's like the latter. It is not like the former. So where do codes come from? Patterns like snowflakes and hurricanes, they occur naturally. We know that. Nobody has to design a snowflake. But, and this is kind of gets to the whole point of my presentation, random processes, accidents, weather, They don't create codes. A code is symbolic, right? If we agree that a quarter note is, is supposed to last this long, then we all agree on that. That is something that we have made a decision to agree on, right? Okay? And then somebody could go write a computer program that reads the notes, and the computer could go through a very mechanical process of reading the notes, but somebody would have had to program it first to do what it does. Okay? No one has ever discovered a code that was not ultimately designed by somebody. Ever. And you can take that to the bank. Nobody has ever discovered a code that wasn't designed. Nobody has ever discovered a symbolic relationship that wasn't designed. Because in nature, I got a rock. Go pick up a rock. Does this rock contain any symbols? No. It's a rock. That's all that it is. Nothing in the purely physical world creates plans, instructions, or codes or symbols. Okay? So here's a way to think of it. Let's say that we go far from Earth. We go to some other solar system. Or we go to some planet very far from Earth, okay? You will not find any codes anywhere. Unless some form of life exists there that we don't know about, there's no codes, there's no symbols. If there's rocks, there's rocks. If there's molecules, there's molecules. If there's asteroids, there are asteroids. But there's no symbolic representation of anything. Because to have a symbolic representation, you have to have a mental process. Somebody has to make a decision. They have to make a choice. Can you derive quarter notes from the laws of physics? Could you open a physics book and say, here, show me where quarter notes come from? No, quarter notes are something that people agreed on. It's a convention. You can't derive the English language, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can't get that from the laws of physics. Laws of physics says, hey, you throw a rock up in the air and gravity pulls it back down. It doesn't explain where letters and symbols and ideas come from. That there's this infinite chasm between the physical world and the world of ideas, and DNA contains ideas. It clearly does. Go look it up in the dictionary. It's a code. This guy here in the picture, his name is Norbert Wiener. He was a mathematician at MIT. His heyday was in the 50s and 60s. He helped create many of the concepts, like if you have a cruise control in your car, he had a lot to do with figuring out all the math that would cause a cruise control to be accurate or to get a guided missile where it needs to go. He's one of the pioneers in the information age that we live in now and take for granted. And he said something very interesting. He said, information is information. It is not matter or energy. No materialism that does not admit this can survive the present day. What he's saying is, there's not, like, usually when you talk about the universe or what you talk about, there's matter and there's energy, right? And, rocks, molecules and stuff, and there's energy like sunlight. But what Norbert Wiener is saying, there's a third entity. Information is an entity, and it's separate from either of those two. You can't get information from matter and energy. It's a separate thing. He said this about 50 years ago. So, what this brings me to is a very, very simple argument, and this is what it is. Number one, DNA is a code. Go look it up in a dictionary, it's a code. Two, all codes that we know the origin of are designed. Therefore, DNA is designed. Therefore, God exists. Okay? Now, I have debated this on the largest atheist website in the world for 2 years, and they are as mad as hornets. And you go look it up. You go to cosmicfingerprints.com/infidels. Infidels is the biggest atheist website in the world. It's 15,000 pages of rage and vitriol. And you can go read the whole entire thing. It's like probably 1,000 posts on this discussion board by now. But it's all there. If you want to go read it, it's all there. Let me back up. I kind of skipped a step. There's actually, okay, DNA is a code. All codes that we know the origin of are designed. Therefore, what? Well, there's actually 5 different answers. Where did DNA come from? Well, one answer is, well, DNA was designed by humans. Okay, now wait a minute. Is there like a problem with that? Okay, what? Somebody go back in time or I don't know. Does anybody like think that that's an acceptable answer to the riddle? I doubt it. DNA was designed by aliens. Okay, and you know what? That is actually a perfectly legitimate answer. It's perfectly logical. It's perfectly possible as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't solve any problems. Because then the next question is what? Where did the aliens come from? It doesn't answer anything. Okay? So, so what? The aliens had to come from somewhere. Okay, number 3. This is the most common one you hear. It was a product of chance. Okay, now, that is a legitimate answer, except there's a huge problem with this answer. If Isaac Newton had said, okay, the apple falls out of the tree, and he goes, why did the apple fall out of the tree? Okay, what was the answer he came up with? Gravity, right? A force pulled it down. What if he'd said, well, it just fell by chance? What kind of answer is that? It's a non-answer. Okay, it's not systematic, it's not repeatable, it doesn't refer to anything that you can investigate further, it doesn't lend itself to any kind of experiment. Science is a belief that the world operates according to laws that can be discovered. Okay, why do the asteroids stay where they're supposed to stay instead of flying off somewhere? There's a reason. Really smart people can go figure out why. Okay? Why does water flow downhill? There's a reason. A systematic explanation. Okay? Now, before I go further with this, something I want you to think about is, I'll just give you, I'll give this to you and you can go think about it. The only reason that we have science in the first place is because back in the Middle Ages, people believed that God created an orderly world and they wanted to figure out what made it tick. That the beginnings of science were born out of a belief that God made a predictable, systematic world, not a product of chance world. Okay? Fourth explanation for where does information come from? Where does the genetic code come from? How did it come to be that DNA has 4 letters, not 5, not 6, not 2, not 3? It could have. It very well could have. But it has 4, and it follows a very specific set of rules. The rules are not derivable by the laws of physics unless you say, okay, there's an undiscovered law of physics that creates information. Well, if you go to that answer, you can't go any further until you discover a naturally occurring code. And when somebody discovers a code that nobody designed, then they can investigate what's this law of physics. But since nobody's ever seen a code that wasn't designed, number 4 gets you nowhere. And the only thing left is number 5. It was designed. Okay, now why is 5 a helpful answer? Because if you assume it's designed, then you can also assume that if there's something you don't understand, there must be a good reason for it anyway. Okay, like your blood cells, they're curved this way on top and they're curved inward on the bottom, right? Some of you guys know that. Now who knows why blood cells have that curvature? Somebody can tell me why? There's a pretty simple answer. It's so they don't get stuck when they're like going through an artery. They'll bend and they'll go through really tiny capillary. Now there might be other reasons, but whenever you encounter something in science and you want to ask a why question, it only helps you to ask the why question if you can somehow assume, which is always a leap of faith, by the way, that there's an answer, that there's a reason, okay? I would contend that number 5 is by far the best of these choices because it gives you reasons to ask more questions. So this is the atheist riddle. Show me a message that does not come from a mind. That's the riddle. Show me a message that doesn't come from a mind. So simple, any child can understand, so complex, no atheist can solve. Now, this is part 2 of my presentation. I have just established through a logical argument that the best available explanation for the origin of life is that it was designed. Okay? Now I want to talk about this whole creation evolution question. And I'm going to move really fast, and we'll be done hopefully in about 20 minutes, and then we can have Q&A. We can talk about it get on top. But a Christian and an atheist go to the zoo. Now, what could be more entertaining than that? I mean, that is a zoo. You don't even need animals. Now, everybody like gets all uppity about like, is your daddy, who's your daddy? Is your daddy an ape? Is your mom a baboon? And all this kind of stuff. People get like really uppity about that question. So let's ask the question in a less uppity way. Did the antelope evolve into the giraffe? Or could an antelope have evolved into giraffe? Now, is that an okay question to ask? Would anybody in this room like be really, really bothered and distraught if you figured out that antelopes turned into giraffes years and years ago and they grew a longer neck? Would that like, break your heart or crush your faith? Would that be okay? I figured it's okay. Okay, if you want to talk about men and baboons and stuff, then let's set that aside. But see, I think this is a really good question. Okay, could and I don't care if maybe the antelope was a camel. I don't care, but the question is like, if the neck needed to get longer, was there a way for that to happen? Is that a good question? I think it's a good question. Now, again, if you line up a bunch of fossils, you come up with a story. Somebody says, yes, it did. No, it did. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. But you don't have an explanation. It's like, I'm an engineer. I want to know, how did the neck get longer? Like, how did it get all the extra vertebrae? Like giraffes have these valves in their neck where, their head goes down and they drink water and it keeps the blood from all rushing in their brain. There's a lot of complicated stuff going on in a giraffe neck. Where did it all come from, right? Just saying, well, it just happened. Well, I had to see the trees were taller and the giraffes were starving, and then there was a mutation, and the mutation caused the neck to be longer, and then the longer neck ones survived and the other ones died. See, that's a story, but it's not an explanation because it doesn't explain how the neck got all its parts. Okay? And so you have to reduce the question to first principles. So Now, in the world of Darwinism, the normal explanation is random mutation of DNA, meaning, these animals have these strands of DNA, and little by little, the letters get switched around, and little mistakes and copying errors happen. And most of the time, the copying errors are bad, and some of the time they're good, and then the good ones outlast the bad ones, and evolution moves forward. And all you need, random mutation, natural selection, time, is all you need. And that's the party line. That's what they say, and that's what's defended. But my question as an engineer is, okay, is this really true? Okay, is this really true? Now, I mentioned that I had written an Ethernet book, and about all, how ones and zeros get from this computer to this computer, basically. Okay, all these packets of information. And when I was investigating this, remember I was like, okay, I want something I can sink my teeth into, not just these people arguing with each other all the time. And just one day, I had a major epiphany. It was like, you know how that happens sometimes, big light bulb over your head. I discovered that all of the communication theory, all of the math, all of the conceptual ideas that are used in computer networking also apply to the information in DNA. Okay, everything that has to do with how your email gets, from here to your friend in South Africa, everything that has to do with that also relates to how DNA is decoded and copied, because it's the same process. It's a process of copying and encoding and decoding information. Opening your email, turning a strand of DNA into a new cell. On a mathematical level, it's the same thing. It's the same. Okay? This is rigorous. This is something you can sink your teeth into. And so here's what I found. And now I want to go to a business example, and this will make sense when I get done explaining it. Another book that I wrote is a book on Google advertising. That is the consulting that I do. And if you look, somebody types in Red Wagon and searches on Google, you see those little ads on the right side? Okay, those ads are Google ads, and Google ads compete with each other in a Darwinian fashion. Okay, the ones that get clicked on move up, and the ones that don't get clicked on move down and die. Okay, it's natural selection. It's Darwinian, survival of the fittest. Okay, and people spend $10 billion a year placing these ads, and these ads competing with each other. So this is the kind of consulting that I do. Well, I want to show you something really interesting. These are two different ads. What's the difference between the ad on the left and the ad on the right? Easy versus fast. It's that third line in the ad, easy personal protection training, fast personal protection training. Is there any other difference between those two ads? Yeah, one's higher. I lined up my PowerPoint slide right. They're exactly the same except for that one word. Do you think that word makes a difference? Any guess how much difference it makes? One gets 0.8%, the other one gets 1.3%. The one on the right is actually about 50% better than the one on the left. Well, it's because people who type that word, people who go looking for this, happen to like fast better than easy. Okay? And you can never usually guess what people really want until you try it. Okay? But as you can see, this little blob of text makes a huge difference of one word. Okay? And so the one on the right, over time, will get 50% more clicks for the same amount of money. The advertiser actually gets to spend less money on every click. Well, I want to show you something. hired a programmer and I had him write this random mutation generator, and what it would do is it would randomly change the letters. It would do what the Darwinian version of evolution says is the process that makes DNA evolve. And if you go to randommutation.com, you can play with it. It's online. It's 24/7. You wake up at night, you can't sleep. You go to this website and you can enter things. And what happens? So you put text in this and you mutate it. So you start out with something that looks like this, and then you do one mutation. Do you see the mutation? Easy for protection. The I turned into a 0. And then after 5 mutations, there's more stuff that gets screwed up. Okay? After 10 more mutations, there's more stuff that gets screwed up. Okay? Now, if you follow exactly what Darwinian evolution is claimed to do, the claim that is being made is, if we made millions of these ads and we had little text errors sprinkled in these ads, eventually we get a better ad. Okay? That is, I am not mischaracterizing this at all. That is what is being said. What is being said is that copying errors in DNA, most of the time are bad, but some of the time are good. Now, what I would encourage you to do is try it for yourself. Go to randommutation.com and take any kind of text that you can come up with and see if you can ever make it significantly better. And maybe you can make it a little bit better. Like, if there was one letter that was off, you could accidentally substitute the wrong letter for the right letter and just get lucky and make it right. But what you will find is you can never get it to say something substantially different, because you cannot rewrite a sentence one letter at a time. Let me repeat that. You cannot rewrite a sentence, much less a paragraph, a page, or a set of encyclopedias, one letter at a time. Why? Because language is so specific. It has words and paragraphs and grammar and syntax, and you always have to follow the rules of the code. And believe me, there's a lot more complicated rules in DNA than just that it has 4 letters. Right? Just like in English, 26 letters doesn't mean you can just have a random mutation generator write you Shakespeare book. It can't be done. And so what happens, by the time this ad has 50 mutations, you can't even read it anymore. Okay? And one of the things that I discovered in communication theory, in the world of communications, if we're sending ones and zeros across the internet, noise and mutation is the same thing. You want to see random mutation? Turn your TV to channel 69 with no antenna, or some channel with no station. That's what it looks like. Okay, and so as a communication engineer, I would frame the question: how much of that do you add to a signal to make it better? None. Noise is always bad. Noise always destroys a signal. Noise always destroys information. Like, if let's say that you record a TV show from a TV station that's 50 miles away and it's all snowy, you can kind of see it, but the signal's really loud. Take that videotape. You can't take the noise out once it's in. It's an irreversible process. And in the mathematics of this is called information entropy. And entropy is a term from thermodynamics. You know how you toast your toast and it's hot and you put it on the counter and it gets cold? Does it always get cold? Does it ever get warmer? No. Adding noise to a signal is just like that. Adding noise to a signal does not make the signal better any more often than your toast gets hotter when you take it out of the toaster, for pretty much the exact same reasons. There is no possible way. I am saying this as a communication engineer, somebody who wrote an Ethernet book, somebody who did control systems, all kinds of stuff as an engineer. There is no way that random mutation is how an antelope turns into a giraffe. And I'm not saying an antelope did not evolve into a giraffe. It very well may have happened, but it did not happen randomly or by accident. Absolutely, positively, did not, could not. And it doesn't matter how many chances they have to reproduce, you don't get a better one because you had enough time. Now there's another version of this. Years ago, back in the 20s and 30s, there was a guy named Goldschmidt, and he said, hey, if mutations cause evolution, let's have more mutations. And he took these fruit flies, and he hit them with radiation, and he did this for 30 years. He said, if I hit fruit flies with radiation long enough, I'm going to get a fruit fly to evolve into something else. He did this for decades, starting in 1906. He got no new species at all. He did this for 30 years, missing organs, deterioration, sterility, reduced wings, legs, feet growing out of mouth, all kinds of bizarre things. Not a single improved fruit fly after 30 years. Now, this is exactly what a communication engineer would tell you to expect. Okay? Yeah, I got this U2 CD, and we're going to make billions of copies of it, and every single copy is going to have a little bit of an error in it, and once in a while it's going to improve the album, and we're going to evolve, from the Joshua Tree to, some other album. Does it happen that way? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Random mutation plus natural selection plus time equals extinction. Okay? Now, I want to talk about how we use the word evolution, because it's an everyday household word, and we use this word a lot when we're not talking about biology or animals at all. When we use the word evolution and we're talking about technology, knowledge, social progress, we are always referring to an intelligent activity. Like the evolution from the iPod to the iPhone. Amen. Right? Okay? It didn't happen random, right? It happened as a result of deliberate choice. Okay? The only time that the word evolution means a random, purposeless process is in biology, which is somebody trying to sell you on an idea that runs contrary to experience. Evolution is really chaos resolved by intent. It requires a mind. And here's my point. Remember at the beginning of this presentation, I said I was going to take this in a different direction than normally taken. If evolution happened, it was designed to happen. Okay? And I'm going to explain this a little more. This gal, her name is Barbara McClintock. She won the Nobel Prize in 1983 for what I'm about to describe to you. Okay? She was at Cornell, and way back, 1944 is before DNA was even discovered. DNA was discovered in like 1953, I think. They didn't totally understand DNA, but they did understand something about chromosomes. And Barbara McClintock did very meticulous research on corn maze, and here's what she would do. See, with these ears of corn, you can see the different colors of the corn, of every individual piece of corn. She could look at the patterns in the corn and she could discern what was going on with the chromosomes, and what she would do is she would breed corn, but she would damage the chromosomes. And she did this laborious experimentation for many, many years, and she figured out, what she figured out was that you have a strand of DNA, which is sort of like a CD that's full of information, and what DNA would do is if some of it was damaged, there was a repair mechanism that would find the damaged part, it would take it out, it would go find another part that it thought was as close to suitable as possible, and it would splice it in. Sort of like if you had a book and there was holes in the pages and there was missing words and stuff, that you could make an educated guess at what was supposed to be there, and if the damage wasn't too bad, a person who read it might not know that that it had been damaged. Maybe not too different than people that study ancient scrolls and they got holes in them and stuff like that. DNA does the same thing when it's damaged. The same thing. It's absolutely remarkable. Nobody believed her. They're like, you're crazy. 1944, when was the Nobel Prize? 1983. It literally took her 30 plus years to sell her colleagues on the idea that DNA was that smart. The chromosomes of patterns appear in the corn. The damaged chromosomes repair themselves, and this was called transposition. DNA would splice itself and repair itself. Now, I want to show you something else. This is a Barbara McClintock stamp. National Medal of Science, MacArthur Foundation, Wolf Prize in Medicine, National Women's Hall of Fame, Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine. She was way ahead of her time, okay? Now, what she really discovered was that DNA is intelligent. It's like a computer program that knows how to repair itself. Now, I want to take it a step further. This guy, James Shapiro, he's current. He's like still writing books and publishing papers. He's a very active guy. And here's what he discovered. He took McClintock's work and carried it forward. And what he discovered was that there was something else that DNA would do in addition to what Barbara McClintock discovered. He discovered that he would take protozoas, which is a tiny cell, and he would put them under extreme stress. Like not enough sugar, not enough water, not enough whatever. Some kind of severe environmental stress. And what he had discovered was that as those protozoas reproduced, they would splice their own DNA into over 100,000 pieces, rearrange the pieces, and produce a new protozoa that was substantially different so that it could survive the new environment. And this is why germs resist antibiotics. It's because they're reprogramming themselves. Okay, it doesn't happen by accident. Okay, somewhere in there is a mechanism that goes, we can't fight this. Let's rearrange the design. Take this piece, move it over here. This piece, move it over here. This piece, move it over here. And so we're going to make one copy of us that's like this. We're going to make another that's like this. We're going to another version that's like this, and another version that's like this. Is this like getting more and more remarkable the further it goes? This is so far from random mutation, it's the opposite direction. Random mutation would just destroy it. Okay? This is a program that evolves itself. So let me ask you a question. You know, most of us have been using Windows for a long time. There was Windows 95. First there was DOS, right? There was DOS, and then there was Windows 95, and there was Windows 98, there was Windows ME, and there was XP, and there was 2000, and there's Vista, right? Now, it took like 40,000 engineers or something to like make all these new versions of Windows, right? What if the original DOS program was so sophisticated that it just rewrote itself for the last 20 years and nobody had to program it and it just kept getting better and better? We wouldn't have Vista. We wouldn't have Vista. I mean, what if it could do that? Would you look at the original? Would the original engineer who designed this be like considered smarter than all the other 40,000 guys put together? Absolutely. So here's what I'm saying. You can look at all the fossils and all this kind of stuff, and people argue about this stuff, creation versus evolution and everything. Okay, fine. But wait, it's not a random. Evolution is not a random process. It's an engineered process. Okay, can the protozoa reconfigures itself into a considerably different kind of protozoa? Can it turn into a human? I don't know. But if it can, the ability was designed in, and it's a heck of a lot more of an impressive design than anything humans have ever done. Because Microsoft still has 40,000 people on the payroll. I'm sure Bill Gates would love to get rid of all those people and just have the thing, you know, what if it could rewrite itself and the next version of Windows could just, you know, happen all by itself? What if you didn't need antivirus software, the thing that would just automatically adapt and go, oh, we got a new virus here, so that could be a whole conversation about how your immune system works, because that's what it does. When your immune system learns to fight off a new disease, it does it by splicing DNA in a whole bunch of pieces and passing the new information on to the next cells and the next cells and the next cells. And so that's what Shapiro discovered. He said DNA, it's not like a CD full of data, it's like an operating system that cleans up files and maintains things. It's absolutely remarkable. Evolution is an engineered process. Living things, at least to some extent, as seen in the laboratory, living things are designed to evolve. Now, science, definition of science, the observation, identification, description, experimental investigation, theoretical explanation of phenomena, okay? Now, if we say evolution happens randomly, that's not science, because you can't reproduce it. You can't investigate it. You just have a story, oh, here's what happened. You can't make it happen over again. You don't understand how the giraffe neck got to be the way it is. You just have well, here's the way it is. Just accept it. But see, if evolution is an engineered process, now you have a way of taking apart this process. How did a giraffe neck really get to be what it is? And if you understand that, then maybe Microsoft can figure out how to make the next version of Windows write itself, rather than a bunch of, thousands of engineers having to sit there and go through 20 million lines of bad code and try to make it better, right? So if you say the origin of life was by accident, that is not a scientific answer. If you say evolution is a random process, that is not a scientific answer. Evolution is not a random process, it's an engineered process, and an engineered process is scientific. You can study that. So suddenly the study of evolution has practical application. If you get down to how does this really happen, maybe you can write better computer programs, maybe you can make better iPods and iPhones. And I want to point out something. Remember, the whole conversation here revolved around the idea of a code. It all revolved around the idea that DNA was not just a molecule, it was a language. And I find it very interesting that in Genesis 1, every creation event is preceded by the words, and God said. And God said, let there be light. And God said, let there be, let there be. And then, I think even more significantly, in the book of John, John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and He was in the beginning with God. Through Him all things were made. There is nothing that has been made that was not made through Him. He was in the beginning with God. That God and the Trinity, that Jesus as the expression of the Trinity is language. That language is the basis of all creative acts. That for a new baby to be born, for a new cell to divide, it's a process of communication. That communication and language is the metaphor that unlocks the mystery of life. And that is what I have for you today. I am done. We can take questions after that.
So I played that for you to get smart. And you clearly turned it off at 3 minutes into the video. No problem. That's fine. That's fine. Keep ignoring reality until you die. Gospel of Jesus' wife. Jesus said to them, my wife. Okay. Then we'll copy Papyrus fragment. Introduction on September 18, 2012. HDS Professor Karen L. King announced the existence of a papyrus fragment dubbed the Gospel of Jesus' Wife at the International Coptic Congress in Rome. This site provides updated March 2014 information on the scientific testing of the papyrus and ink, and an update June 2016 with news concerning the fragment. June 20, 2016, statement from HDS Dean David N. Hampton on the Gospel of Jesus' Wife. The June 15, 2016 issue of The Atlantic Monthly published an article entitled The Unbelievable Tale of Jesus' Wife. Article called into question the provenance and authenticity of a papyrus fragment, purportedly stating Jesus said to them, my wife. That is the subject of research by Professor Karen King of Harvard Divinity School. Reach for comment by the Boston Globe after publication of the Atlantic article. Professor King was quoted as stating that it appears now that all the material owner Walter Fritz gave to me concerning the provenance of the papyrus were fabrications. On June 16, 2016, The Atlantic published an interview with Professor King by the same author, in which Professor King stated that the Atlantic's investigation tips the balance towards forgery, and that the preponderance of the evidence now presses in that direction. The mission of Harvard Divinity School is faculty and higher education more generally is to pursue truth through scholarship, investigation, and vigorous debate. Harvard Divinity School is therefore grateful to to many scholars, scientists, technicians, and journalists who have devoted their expertise to understanding the background and meaning of the papyrus fragment. Harvard Divinity School welcomes these contributions and will continue to treat the questions raised by them with all the seriousness they deserve. David N. Hampton, Dean, Harvard Divinity School. Previous material. March 2014, The Gospel of Jesus' Wife, Scientific Testing and Imaging. On September 18, 2012, Karen L. King announced the existence of a papyrus fragment dubbed The Gospel of Jesus' Wife at the International Coptic Congress in Rome. In the months following this announcement, papyrological examination, scientific analysis of the ink and papyrus, and various forms of imaging were performed by multiple professional teams. These usually included comparative testing of a fragment of the Gospel of John in Coptic. No evidence of modern fabrication forgery was found. The results of these analyses do helpfully demonstrate a number of points, including the papyrus material is ancient and can be dated to the 7th to 8th century CCE. The carbon composition of the ink, too, is consistent with ancient inks. Microscopic imaging was used to investigate whether the ink might be pooled in damaged sections of the fragment in ways that would indicate it had been applied after the damage had already been done. No evidence of such pooling was found. Careful examination was also made of certain letters, especially the all-important alpha, on the heavily inscribed side of the fragment, recto, in line 4, which reads, "My wife." If a sigma had been overwritten by this alpha, the meaning would have been changed from "the woman" to "my wife." No evidence of overwriting is evident. King has also done more research on the history of what early Christians had to say about Jesus' marital status and on the interpretation of the fragment itself. She argues that the main topic of the fragment is to affirm that women who are others and wives can be disciples of Jesus, a topic that was hotly debated in early Christianity as celibate virginity increasingly became highly valued. There's the fragment. Mhm. Hmm. Mhm. Okay. Jesus said to them, "My wife," a new copy of the papyrus fragment, a critical addition, English translation, photographs, and an analysis of the material artifact, its language, meaning, and history, have now been published by Karen L. King in the Harvard Theological Review, 107.2, April 2014. The results of a papyrological examination, as well as Raman FTIR and the radiocarbon testing, are summarized. The reports also published there by the respective researchers. Okay, so there you have it. Let's see what else we got here. Mhm. Okay. All right, now let's see if I can get some information from the Akyam. Oh, they're already in the call. Oh, my bad. Oops. You got a lot of bros in the call. Okay, so they're already in the call building some fantastical structure, some incredible thing. So I don't know what's going on over there. It's Princess Night. We in here. Claim your inheritance. Okay. So let me see here. Feminism sucks pretty bad. So that is the topic. If anybody wants to go in on it, they can, no problem. I'll wait. In other news, I got a lot done today, man. I feel slightly accomplished, like I actually did something today. So that's a good thing. I did another push-up today. That's a good thing. So I'll have one or two real estate contracts tomorrow. So if you know any landlords who like to buy property, let me know and I'll cut you in on the deal. You don't work, you don't eat. So if I find a landlord myself, I'll just take all the money myself.
Say it right quick, man. Hey, Bob posted out the link, y'all.
I ain't know y'all was building already, man. Y'all go ahead and. Oh well, y'all ain't live.
I was waiting for your ass, man.
Yeah.
I done called everybody already and shit. I watched some of the video from last night. I gotta finish it though, man. But you know, I've been dealing with some things, man, kind of just dealing with life though. So
Yeah, no problem. What y'all building over there?
man, we over there with Austin and them just shooting the shit about what could be done and what needs to be done.
I know that's right. The sign of the times.
Man, I'm gonna be honest, bro, cause I keep it all the way 100. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, he was talking about like basically like him and I think his brother Malik was talking about what could basically implementation instead of just talking. Because basically saying like we all proving that we can teach history and get on here and debate and all that other shit. But what are we going to implement? You know what I mean?
That's right.
In real life. So like my implementation is based on my belief. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But me by myself, bro, I don't know. Sometimes I sit back and think, bro, like I just don't see myself going nowhere, bro, and that's bad. But like, I kind of been thinking about going back to school or something, man. But I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah, it's all about constant improvement, man. You can improve yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can. I got a school. I got a real estate school. You got everything. You know what I'm saying? You got all the loans and stuff that you need to do whatever you need to do. I can teach you how to do that. No problem. School takes time, so you want to learn that you can.
and I was thinking about Robert was talking about how they got free med school and shit like that down there in Columbia.
What?
You didn't hear him say that?
Nah, I missed that one. Free medical school, not just medical terminology. Free medical school.
Yeah, like you become a doctor or a nurse.
That's true.
And Cuba does it as well. But if you come up like my rib was working at the hospital out here with this one chick, and that was a doctor, and she said that she had to take all her schooling over again. Cause they got all the embargoes on Cuba and shit.
Oh man, you gotta be kidding.
Yeah,
They might do the same thing with Cuba information too.
yeah. And then like her mom was already a doctor down there, so instead of her moving up here, she just stayed down there because she didn't want to take it all over again.
Dang, that's sad. Americans, boy, they love to oppress, boy. I swear.
But see, I always thought that it was because of the high nicotine levels in the cigars
Mhm.
that they wouldn't let you bring them over here. But it's because they used to have they let you bring some now, but it's because of the embargo they got on the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you get caught buying them anywhere else, you get
Anything Cuban produced.
right. And I read that a lot of farmers from Cuba moved to like Nicaragua and places like that to keep their tobacco farming up, so they can sell it outside of Cuba.
Yeah. I mean, they probably being oppressed for fighting against America. They do speak out against America publicly and all that stuff.
The Cold War and all that.
Yep. They was throwing missiles.
Yeah, Russia had missiles over there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Right now, I'm trying to have a prospect as a cook at IHOP. That call center job that I was supposed to be getting is like $12 an hour, and the lady keeps saying that the city's working on the road, so they ain't even got in that building yet. And I asked her if I could get in another location, and she talking about they all full. So, I could have sworn in the email she said that it should be done at the end of this month. And I hit her back, and she said the end of next month. You know, but hopefully I'll be able to get this cook position to do a little bit of something for a minute. I decided not to fuck with the trucking school at the moment.
Right. Okay. Now, I was listening to a lady today that ministers to my mother. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother's on milk, on breast milk, and I don't have any breast to feed her with, right? So I'm talking about the scriptures. You know what I'm saying?
She's on breast milk. I was like, yo, wait a minute.
So yeah. So I'm talking about the scriptures. So now, shalom to Aratazah.
Hey, it's some good stuff though, man.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, she's a Christian lady. She comes over here and ministers to my mother and stuff like that. You know, she gives a good, strong milk. You know what I'm saying? So she said she went to a gas station or whatever. I know that's not enough money for you, but she went to a gas station and went up to the guy, and the way she said it proved why the man showed her favor. Okay, because she said she prayed about getting a job, and you know what I'm saying, she just a week before she had put 50 cents in her car to go to church. You know what I'm saying? So she made it to church or whatever, you know what I mean? Prayed, please Heavenly Father give me a job. So she went back to that same gas station. And when she went up to the gas station, man, right, she said, excuse me, sir, but do you think I can apply for a job here? She said it's so soft. Now she's a retired Navy person, so she got skills to work pretty much any way she wants to, you know what I'm saying? Based on her skill. Whatever her skill field is or whatever. But you know, it's so oppressive you can't get jobs. Anyway, the way she approached that man, okay, he said, go ahead, fill this application out right here. So she filled out the application, and then once she finished filling out the application and handed it to him, he said, can you start today? Okay, now, I'm explaining that the reason he showed her favor is because of her fearful approach. She feared God, so the way she approached the man was like she was approaching the fear of approaching God, and you know what I'm saying. She said it so scared and humbly that the man showed her favor, felt empathy for her, or sympathy. He might have been in that situation himself. So now she got gas to get to work, because she works at a gas station. Got big hamburgers that she can fix every day. You know, all the rest of that food that's in the gas station. And she had worked out a place where she had worked out a way that she had a place to stay, because she was homeless, living in her car. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to these job interviews, it's like most people say, you got to be super aggressive and confident. But I've done that my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know that I'm an AB student, and that I can do any of your jobs that I'm sitting here applying for very easily, no problem. But I will go in there confident in things and never get the job. So now, but I see hundreds of other people getting a job instantly. Okay, I know for a fact that they were essentially begging for the job. I know for 100% fact they would say, I have 2 kids, or I have 3 kids, and I really need this job, sir. You know what I'm saying? I'll be a wonderful, excellent worker, and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I never went in the job saying those things and never got the job because of that. You know what I'm saying? The only time I ever did that and it was successful was a call center job where you're supposed to be confident over the phone. They like confident people. But if you're working at Sandpiper, or you working at a factory where your whole duty is to just obey and just sit there and do manual work and just do what they tell you to do. They want you to show them that. They want you to show them that you are obedient and humble and scared. See what I'm saying? So these two different approaches need to be, you need to approach your job based on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If you have to kill people for a living, then you need to go to that job interview and tell them I'm the most ruthless killer in the world. You want me to kill you right now? You got to scare the boss. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna try that.
You see what I'm saying? If you got to go be a bouncer at a club, you got to go in there and say, "Yeah, man, I can fight. Let's go ahead and test me out." And then they test your fighting skills. You know what I'm saying? So you got to tailor your approach to whatever you're going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? If you have to sit there and take orders all day at a job, then you have to sit there and say, you have to stand at the door, wait for the man to tell you to sit down, and then you say, thank you, sir, for allowing me to sit down. Thank you, I certainly appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Don't say it that fake, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, sit on down, and then, be relaxed or whatever, and just be a slave. Be a fucking slave. That's how you gotta be in certain jobs.
Time. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Sometimes I be wondering if they be looking me up nowadays, man. I used to be able to get so many interviews. Sometimes I be wondering if they be trying to run my name before they even try to call back or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like it's funny because like
Shalom warrior.
Shalom, big bro. I applied for a job. When was that? December 2014, and I put on the application I was white. But they called me the next day.
I do that. I put that on every single application.
Hey, I got the job. They didn't ask me, you know what I'm saying?
I don't
They didn't
never.
ask me about it.
I don't never put black or African American on there. I put white every single time. They call you. They call you instantly. As soon as they hear your voice, they might get mad, but they don't forgot that you're a white person. You know what I'm saying? They just said they just subconscious in their mind after looking it over your application. They see white. They throw that in the back of their mind. And say I don't fit to call him right now.
Right.
When they call you, say there was something about your application that I like. Then they go into your background and they say, yeah, okay, so you have relevant experience and things of this nature. See, as they do it, I get an interview every time. But when I go in there, they see a black man looking crazy with scars on his face. You know what I'm saying? Ready to go.
Right.
And they say, nope, you can't work here. I say, oh, okay. No problem. I'll just start my own job. So I figured that out finally. After all these years, finally figured out that how to, what type of job is easy enough to start with zero money, and all businesses must advertise. So I just advertise on Craigslist, free of charge.
You see my resume, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I'm a biomedical equipment engineer.
Yeah.
And I can't get no jobs in that shit, bro.
Right, in your field. That's right.
That shit don't make no sense, dude. I got the schooling for it. I got more schooling than you go to college for. It's just that I got it through the military.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not as in length of time, but when it comes to actual practical application and lab work and actually working on that equipment, I got more experience than a dude that comes out in that field with 4 year degree.
That's right, man. Experience, hands-on training.
and ain't got no results from it. I only had one job that had me doing the position, and it was like I was working on infusion pumps, which is like the easiest piece of equipment to work on in the medical field.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. And every
so, for seniors medical, like I've been applying there for my location out here in Tennessee. It's like 2011.
mhm. Mhm.
Hey, bro, we had to Amaziah and Aratazah. We had a good show going on, man. And to the heathens joined the room, man. No knock against them or nothing, but that's gonna happen from time to time. But I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to get more people, trying to, get more cats involved in what we're trying to do. You know
Yeah, I
what I
feel
mean?
like they didn't really want to be in there with the Hebrews or something, man.
Yeah, they was kind of standoffish.
I seen the brother Consu left. As
Yeah,
soon
he
as,
just
as soon
Yeah,
as
they
I
was,
got in there, he was talking, but then I tried to say shalom to him, and he
yeah,
just did.
they was definitely acting a little standoffish toward the brother Amaziah and Aratazar. But like I said, like I was trying to explain to them dudes, it's room for everything. You know what I mean? We could talk about many things, and all that. But it is what it is, man.
I
yeah,
said a little upset about when he was talking about putting people to death and shit like that the other night. What I was trying to explain to him was that it's not gonna be something that we gonna be doing. Like when it comes to the race war and all that shit, like I think he took it as if a race war bullshit pops off, then
we're gonna be the coons killing black people.
yeah, the Hebrews going around killing people and shit. We ain't endorsing none of that shit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that's why I wanted to keep it on a level where everybody just give their opinion and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? I wanted you to say how you felt about things and the Ratazar felt about things and things like that. But one brother, I think it was Black Star. He was just like, look, man, I just want to talk about money. You know what I mean? So we still got things we gotta work out with that. You know what I mean?
That's what Bob was trying to tell the man, like, he was like, man, I'd rather us talk about something constructive. And we like, and to us, the Bible is the most constructive thing to talk about. And we don't get mad when you ask us questions, you know what I'm saying? We answer all questions.
Exactly. We talk about your uh, point of view all day long. You know what I'm saying? Well, then as soon as you hear the word Bible, your whole building process breaks down. Your whole mentality changes. You get combative. You know what I'm saying? What?
Yeah, that's why I had set what I did. I had set up a little private show, and I didn't invite Black Star and the other brothers. They just like kind of came in, but I had invited the Ratazar, the Elder Rashawn, and my brother D Ray. I wanted us to have a real good discussion tonight, but it kind of reared off. But like I said, we'll fix that. The little bugs, we'll take care of that, man. I just wanted to keep it consistent. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's all good though. We'll get it together.
And then brothers got to understand, too, that we get on here to discuss the Bible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, uh, I just got into contact with a couple different brothers in my area. But, me personally, I don't have nobody to discuss the scriptures with, or if I'm reading something during the day, you know what I mean? And I want to talk to somebody about what I'm reading or share with somebody what I'm reading, you know what I'm saying? So, the whole point of me ever even getting on here, you know what I mean? Besides trying to bring us together, you know what I'm saying? Was to discuss the Bible, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
To discuss scripture, as well as like I said, bringing our people together. So
Yeah, that was definitely where I wanted to go with it. I wanted maybe you bring up something, and then everybody give their opinion on it, and then maybe a Radazar bring up something, and then everybody give their opinion on it. You know, I was trying to take it to that. I wanted to steer it in that direction, but I seen where it started going, so I just was like, all right, you know.
Yeah, I've seen this in the past many millions of times, right? And whenever you say something that is Bible based and don't say that you got it from the Bible, everybody on earth agrees with what you say. And then, but if you cite the chapter and verse, they go completely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had brung up what are we going to unite under? They started talking about Freemasonry and junk.
Hey, but I was gonna say, man, it is true though. I mean, you know,
I used to talk like that. That's why whenever when Gay Man had ambushed us that night, I was talking like the oracles of God, but I wasn't citing the locations. But see, him being a hypocritical Christian, he actually wants to see it in the Bible. But I was so used to dealing with antagonistic people that way that I'll just talk, you know what I'm saying, talk what's in the Bible and never say where it's located at. You know what I'm saying? And it's very effective. But of course, when you're talking to a Christian, they want to see where it's coming from.
Quote some proverb, get it from Confucius or something. Be like,
Yeah, you right about that, because when he come in and just ambush you like that, you know what I mean, he directing how everything's gonna go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he turning the people on his side.
So I want to have a debate with anybody about who Esau is. I want somebody to tell me who Esau is. That's what I want. And then these newcomers, I want them to tell me who Esau is. You know what I'm saying? And
but once again, I apologize to the brother Amaziah and the Radazar. You know what I mean? For bringing y'all into that, like. But
Oh no, King, I enjoy it. You know what I mean? It helped me. It lets me know that the scriptures are firm within me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I agree with what they say, but I also don't agree because they not following the scripture. They don't understand that you got to have morals and a code of ethics and all that. You know what I mean?
No doubt, babe.
And they think they do. They're completely misguided. Yeah, well, I got morals. I got morals. Okay,
I know not to kill my mama.
Yeah, I know exactly. What kind of weird ass thing is that?
But do you know not to commit adultery? You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that.
All right, so that froze up. Did you get the invite earlier?
All right, if y'all want the feminism, the topic is feminism. I'm gonna mute my mic for a second. But if you want to talk about anything else, you can too.
Hey, the boss.
Yeah.
Did you get that invite earlier?
I don't think I did.
I got an invite from Thank You Satan, from So Real, and from some dude named Josiah, trying to get me in their hangout.
Where is that? Let's go.
It was earlier in the day.
Oh.
I was watching TV. I was thinking about them fools.
Yeah, I got one too from the dude Josiah. I got a few last night too. I don't know where them joints came from. Did anybody get an invite from Meow's Cat? They was a part of that group too last night.
Yeah, they a bunch of weirdo Christians.
Yeah. One kid was 16 years old. He invited me to this joint. I joined. That was earlier today. You know, and what's that kid's name? So Real? Something like that?
Real.
Yeah. I was talking with them too.
Well, we had many conversations with So Real, man. He just ain't gonna get it, man.
But I thank y'all for backing me up. I had to start that little private chat, man, because I had brought my brother. I brought D Red with me. He's an Israelite too, by the way. And I had brought him with me into one joint, and them brothers was in there for like going in for like 3 hours about what book came first, Matthew's or Paul. And I'm like, man, I gotta get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? And I had to go and start up a little another joint or something, like, you know. That was crazy.
Hey, you want me bring him on right quick?
Yeah, man, let's bring in whoever we can, man. I wanted a few of the brothers to come over to this joint. I let them know that come to claim your inheritance or whatever.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
what's his name? He just now put the link in there too. Matter of fact, a brother I ain't had on here for a minute is Nasi Mitzvah. Let me see if I can get a hold of that brother. The Nasi used to get on here with us all the time.
Yeah,
He's been out in the streets ambushing Black Lives Matter movements and preaching the truth.
I was talking with the Christians today, and they were saying these guys are so crazy. They was like, what does this scripture mean when it says Christ? I think it was Corinthians 14, if I'm not mistaken, where it said Christ died for the world, and therefore those of the world is dead in Christ. And they was actually arguing, is this talking about the whole entire planet? And I'm like, brother, the scripture is self-explanatory. It's talking about those who believe in Christ. When it says that, when Christ died for those people, and therefore those people are dead in Christ, it's saying that when you come into Christ, you become dead to the world. The things that you valued of the world, you don't value anymore. You become like a new creature. And they just couldn't get that. It was like, no, I think it's talking about this. And I'm like, all right, man, y'all just go ahead, man. Keep trying to figure it out, man. Like,
Man, some people got some weird ideas, man.
Yeah. Hey, it's like
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna
that
say
be
about that guessing part. You're not allowed to guess in the Israelite schools at all. That gets you in trouble.
Yeah, this fucking the dude I told you about from Strong Tower, man. He's trying to piss me off earlier.
who that? The elder that was in the room. He was smoking his ass off.
Nah.
Oh, that the elder.
There's a brother from Strong Tower Israelites.
No, I've never heard of them brothers.
One of them, the leader, Deacon Shakir, he had broke off from IUIC and shit and made his own school. So he had contact with one of the officers or whatever. The brother got to talk shit a little bit ago.
Which I was going in about.
Talking about me not being married on paper and shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, sitting there saying that I don't follow the laws of the Most High and I hate the Most High because I'm not married on paper.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
oh,
According to
paper.
the Bible, sex is marriage. What the fuck are you talking about?
And what the fuck does a paper have to do with anything?
Like,
Sex is marriage according to the Bible, man. You don't need no goddamn paper, man. Like,
Never heard of Israelite school say you got to be married on paper. That's ridiculous.
yeah, straight up. I was like, man, what laws am I breaking?
Not one.
so that's the brother Nazi. How you doing, bro? How's everything?
Yo, what's good? What's good? What y'all say? Y'all say sex is marriage?
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Man, y'all need to quit misleading the people like that,
Okay, Nazi.
man.
So what do you?
Y'all know y'all wrong for that, boy. Y'all better go to y'all better go to every female you done laid with and go make a commitment with her ass too. Just for saying that. Because nigga, if you laying down with another female right now, if you done boned 4 other women, you committed adultery. I'm telling you.
Hey, so
Better
now,
quit spitting that stuff.
Well, the thing is this. Well, look, the thing is this, Nazi. A man can have as many wives as he wants, but not only that. But when you explain to a female before you lay down with her, you let her know, look, if we're gonna get together, you got to take this thing serious. You let her know I'm an Israelite, and if we're gonna have sex, then you're my wife. You understand? So,
hey, Nas.
I can't rock with that one, man. Yeah, y'all my boys, but I can't roll with that, man.
The
All
law
right,
do.
so you got.
Thought you was just joking.
Hold up, let me ask you a question. So you got kids, right?
Most there.
And you don't get married on paper, you breaking the law.
we got an echo in the background.
All right, hold on. Let me move out of here real quick. Hold on. Bro, I'll be back.
You get my question?
All right, now what'd you say now?
I said you got kids, right? And you with that woman, you don't get married on paper, you breaking the law.
Yeah,
sorry,
you breaking the
y'all.
law, but this is the thing. I don't promote the European way of marriage. You know what I'm saying? That's
How
the
you
thing.
breaking the law from not being married on their state paperwork?
Okay, because how's it going? Because we got to go to Deuteronomy chapter 2.
Yeah, dude.
Something that went out. I can't hear
You
it.
got a bad signal.
Yeah, it do say, you and the father had, what I mean, y'all signed a letter, you know what I mean? I've been thinking about that too.
That's not the state paperwork.
Let's go to Deuteronomy 24.
You talking about the kettlebell?
Can somebody read it for me?
Con.
If everybody mute and we talk one at a time, there won't be no echo.
That's nonsense.
My bag, D.
It's still echoing off of somebody's phone. I mean, off of somebody else's speakers.
I was telling him how you been crashing movements. You been crashing the march.
Somebody gonna get that Deuteronomy 24 for me real quick.
Yeah, I thought was gonna read.
Yeah, I got it up. Hey, Nas, you got. Oh wait, or you might turn down.
Yeah, somebody got turned.
I don't think you can take it off. See, Deuteronomy 24:1. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. Is that the scripture you talking about?
No, you talking about getting married, not getting divorced.
Let's see, Deuteronomy 24:5. When a man hath taken a new wife, shall not go out to war. No, that's not.
Can you hear me out?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so now we got in Deuteronomy chapter 24. He says that this man must write her a bill of divorcement, right? So this is paperwork right here. How all of a sudden we got paperwork here in Deuteronomy 24 without the ceremony. So now we got to get a preset so we can show the ceremony taking place. Let's go to Tobit chapter 7.
Yeah. Hold up, let me grab my pocket from there.
See, because Moses said, hey, you got to write her a bill of divorcement. You see what I'm saying? That's paperwork right there. So we got to see the ceremony taking place to be able to tie this all together.
Okay, I got Tobit chapter 7. Where you want me to go in Tobit?
Tobit chapter 7, read it from verse 10.
For it is meet that thou shouldest marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. They came in unto her. Nevertheless, for the present be married. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another. So, I mean, what do you want me? I just read.
So right there, Tobias is saying basically, we gotta do this, we gotta do the ceremony. We gotta make oath with one another. I ain't gonna marry unless we make an oath. You feel what I'm saying? Continue.
It don't say that though.
Okay, well read it again, because you clearly read it.
I'm gonna read it again for you. Look
Read
what it
it
says.
again.
It says, for it is meat, old English for meat is good, right? But it is good that thou shouldest marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men. So what Tobias is talking about in this particular scripture is every time he went to marry his daughter off to a man, it was a particular demon from Egypt.
I already know about that. But
okay,
once
so
again, continue to keep reading. Continue to keep reading.
All right. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. They came in unto her. Nevertheless, for the present be married. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another.
So he said, swear one to another. That's clearly, hold on, because we gonna continue. But that clearly right there is the oath. But it's gonna continue. It's gonna continue. Watch. Go ahead.
No, listen, I don't have a problem with where you're going with this. I already know where you're gonna go with this. I'll continue to read it for you, but I understand where you're going with this.
All right, well, let's go.
Nevertheless, for the present be married. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another. Raguel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine. And the merciful God give you good success in all things. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, behold, take her after the law of Moses.
Uh-oh. So now the oath didn't already happen. Now this is the ceremony taking place right here. The ceremony taking place right here after the law of Moses. You don't see this happen. Hold on, but you don't see this happening in the law of Moses. That's why you got to deal with precepts. Continue.
And led her away to thy father, and he blessed her. And called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write.
Took what?
And took paper, and did write.
Paper. Go ahead.
And did write an instrument of covenants and seals.
So right there, that's that paperwork that Moses is talking about. Moses said, you got to write her that bill of divorcement because there go that paperwork fulfilling that marriage. And also after that, sex seals the marriage. Because after this, after that paperwork came through, they went off into the bedroom and did their thing.
Okay, so the problem is, though, is where is the initial paperwork in the law of Moses? Because the bill of divorcement ain't the same thing as the bill of marriage.
He just showed you. And told you. But what I'm explaining to y'all is that don't got a damn thing to do with their state paperwork and a marriage certificate.
That's what I was about to say. And what about the women who don't have fathers nowadays? What about the way we live in today?
Women who don't have fathers, it goes to the next righteous man.
Right, but see, like my rib, she
she ain't got no, like, her dad been dead. She was like 6 months old. So, you know what I'm saying?
It goes to the next righteous man in her family.
Ain't no other
Okay.
man in her family.
If there ain't no righteous men in her family, then you the next righteous man. But you have to, of course, you got to write your vows and have a contract that you write yourself. It don't got nothing to do with the state application and a marriage.
Oh
State
no,
marriage.
no! I never promote that we gotta go about it the European way. Never.
There you go. Thank you for
Okay.
clarifying
What
that.
about what about so what about Christ saying that that whole bill of divorce that Moses put in there is done away with? What about Christ saying that?
He said that he said that Moses spoke on that due to the hardness of and the stiff neck of the hearts, right?
Uh-huh.
But Hamashiach said that he laid it flat on that. The only way you can divorce is basically if she cheating on you. That's it.
That's right. Yeah.
So you know that right there is another thing that brothers say sex is marriage, because brothers done laid with 20 females and running around laying down with other females. That's to the law.
Yeah, but that's brothers that's going off. What I'm talking about is this. When before you lay with a woman, you understanding you're an Israelite, you being in Christ now. When you're dealing with a woman, you're supposed to explain to her that we cannot have sex or be together unless you understand that if we're going to do this, we are going to be joined together.
You also supposed to go to her father though.
Yeah,
She got a daddy.
These guys,
she got a daddy.
hoes. They become Israelites strictly to get a dumb woman. You know what I'm saying? And then stroke up all the women in the congregation.
Yeah, you go to the father, especially if he knows that he's an Israelite. But a lot of these women's fathers don't know that they're Israelites. They don't care nothing about the law of Moses or any of that stuff that you're talking about.
That's true.
Hey, it don't matter, but it's our job to make sure we live out.
Exactly.
It's our job to make sure we live out that law, though. You feel what I'm saying?
Heard that
before. They know or not.
They've heard that before because in the Christian church they talk about that. You know what I'm saying? You go to the father to get a woman's hand in marriage and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but what their fathers will tell you to do is go to the court of law and marry my daughter according to the court of law. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to accept you writing no paperwork and giving it to them.
Man, they don't care. As long as their daughter is taken care of, they don't.
Exactly. So when we say sex is marriage, all we're saying is when you lay down with a woman, you have to explain to her. She have to be fully aware that you're an Israelite. You're living according to the law.
You don't do all that stuff.
And if you're gonna have sex with me, you have to understand that we will be joined, bone to bone, flesh to flesh.
Yep.
Hey, right quick, y'all. We got
Shalom is you too.
Shalom. This is the author of the Royal Priest Hebrew Map Dictionary. Long time.
Shalom. How y'all brothers feel?
And then,
all right, bro.
What's up, Yazoo? And then, second of all, the Nazi. Second of all, adultery goes one way. Now, if you have a wife and you decide to get another wife, you sit down with your wife and y'all come to an agreement.
Right. Listen, and you got to have the funds to take care of the second.
And you got to have the funds to take care of her. But if you have the funds to take care of her, and you get her permission to go ahead and get another wife, that's not adultery. Now you just have two wives. But at the end of the day, when we say sex is marriage, sex is just that. You can't just go around having sex with women and not expect yourself to be married to them. Once you do that, that's marriage.
Yeah, when you teach against sex,
I agree with you. That ain't.
Hold on. When you teach against sex is marriage, then guys think it's okay to have sex as long as they're not married to them.
Exactly.
It makes it easier for them to have sex.
Exactly. So when you tell a woman that sex is marriage, you're basically saying if we lay down together in the eyes of the Most High, we are married. And then
You know,
anybody, and
I
not
wanna
only
I
that,
wanna digress though.
but let
You
me
went
just,
Well, you
viral
but hold on,
on
before you
that one
digress,
video, didn't you, bro?
you,
That
You
one
got
that,
the
hold on,
that woman that
hold on,
wanted it
Deval.
and thought you was about to have sex with her.
Yeah, now hold on, Deval.
Talking about
Now,
right,
now,
right.
to the brothers that was out here having sex with multiple women before they was in the truth, they didn't know any better. But once you come into the truth,
There's brothers
the
still
most,
doing it though.
all right, but then they doing it in sin. But to
Exactly.
the
That and that's my whole point right there.
no, but you just said that saying that sex is marriage was wrong. You was wrong for saying that because you used the example of brothers. You said anytime you had sex with any woman that you had sex with, that was your wife. Well, we also know that when a man is in his ignorance, the Most High winks at that. But when you come into the truth, you can't just be having sex with multiple women and getting up and leaving and things like that. It don't work like that anymore.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's causing problems with
So I
these
don't even
guys
know.
out
I don't even know. I don't even know why you jumped out the window like that, brother.
I can't believe we had to explain that to him.
And that's the other
Now they know that word. No?
Hey, Yizu, man, I was showing the brothers some of your charts the other day, man, with the root words.
All right, shalom, shalom. It's all good. It's all good, man. Y'all showing us our sacred geometry, our language, our mathematics. All the divine principles of our language is being revealed, and nobody can take credit for it, but the Hebrew Israelites who come up in this Babylon wilderness. You know what I mean? It's showing even more evidence that through myself he decided to manifest this technology, or wake us up back to it, because I believe that the ancients, they did understand these things and principles, but it was stolen from us. But it just goes to show that we are the true Hebrew Israelites of that Bible. You know what I mean? We are that ancient people that Yah is waking up, and hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I know. I've been kind of busy, man, and I ain't had a chance to reach out to you. Uh, but I have been studying, you know, and I know last time we did a hangout, try to get you on there to teach it. You kind of had a bad connection, but it's all good, man. I share the brothers, I share the videos and stuff like that, and we be bringing the information out, man. But yeah, I can't.
And a lot of it, and that's really key for us to see all the mysteries of scripture, like it's been about Yah being male and female. Like that's been a big subject today. I've had to do a lot of different posts and things like that. You read and you,
You cutting
you
out a
kind
little
of
bit.
clear. You know, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Everybody else can hear him good.
Yeah, yeah.
He keep going in and out on my end, but it might just be me.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
breaking up a little bit over here too.
Hallelujah, shalom. Yeah, this phone is crap, man. Yeah, it's pretty much all of your understanding into all those things. Like what's a male, what's a female. We think of these things as just carnal principles, like a penis or a vagina, but really it's really deeper than that. Like actually in our script, you know what I mean, the word sakar, which means remember, it's the same word for male. It's the same exact word, you know what I mean? So it be things like that that we're not familiar with, that our language will reveal to us. You know what I mean? And we'll start seeing these things on multiple levels. You know what I mean? And it's real deep.
No doubt, big bro. And like I said, furthermore, when you come into the truth and you start living under the laws of the Most High, and believing in Christ and everything, and you coming into the truth, and you got a wife, and you get your wife, and she's a good woman to you, you ain't supposed to have no desire to want to run out here and be sleeping around with multiple women and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? Especially like the brother claim your inheritance say, if you're not in a position to take care of all of these women, why would you want to do that anyway? Once you come into Christ, you're supposed to become a new creature. You're born again. The things of the world that you was attracted to as the old you're not attracted to anymore. That's dead. You're not into that anymore. That's over with. You know, those things, those worldly things, you shouldn't be lusting after anymore. Me personally, one woman is good enough for me. I don't even need multiple wives. Like I don't like sex and all that shit. Like that.
Yeah, but that paper, man, that paper is proof. You know, you try to, cause you can run around and even if you in the truth, you can lay with a female, you know what I'm saying, and run the game that you running, and then next thing you know, bamp out on her. You know what I'm saying? But that paper is proof.
But that's
Hold on, bro. Hold on,
right.
bro. Where you think you going? Where
That's
you
right.
running?
Mhm.
Nah, you lay with her. This is proof. Put him to death.
Yep.
That nigga's running around. Put him to death. He's lying. Here's the proof.
See,
Mhm.
but check this out, bro. That's when we was in our kingdom. We ain't in
Oh,
our
it don't
kingdom
matter.
right now.
It don't matter, brother. That don't
It
matter,
does
brother.
matter because
Cause
first of all,
we got the Hebrew paperwork right now. If brothers need paperwork, we got the Hebrew paperwork going around right now. We passing them out to brothers. Brothers is using them and getting married on them every day.
okay.
Mhm.
So let me ask you a question, brother. If a brother get married under your Hebrew paperwork, right, and he do his wife wrong, what y'all gonna do? Put him to death?
Right now,
Yeah.
absolutely not. That's between that man. That's between that daughter, that woman's father, and that man, because that woman's father got the paperwork, and also that man. You see what I'm saying? So that right there just
Let,
shows the proof of the marriage.
That's
let
right.
me ask you. Let me ask a question about
Good
that.
job. I didn't know. I didn't know that was circulating like that. I want to
Yeah,
bravo.
I didn't either. Let me ask a question about that. So like it speaks about put him to death if he out of order or whatnot. How could that be so? Dealing here in the United States, you put a man to death. I mean, they gonna lock you up.
Nah,
So
he
how
wasn't
does the
saying
paperwork
that. He was
go?
just
You know what I
using that
mean?
as an example that
Yeah,
was supposed to happen
yeah.
in the
Just an
future.
example. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is,
Oh,
if we elect a leader over us, we can enforce any of those laws that we choose.
It all really came from us. When you look
Mhm.
at it, all that stuff come from us. These Europeans and all these other nations, they stole all of our history, all of our customs, and then just switched it up into their own thing.
No,
The
we
only
understand.
difference, the only
We
difference now, they got the wedding ring. You feel what I'm saying? Just to make money off of it.
look.
Yeah,
We
But
yeah.
all that
What was
stuff
our
come from
gifts?
us.
What kind of gifts did we give? Like nose rings and stuff like that.
bracelets, but see, the thing is
Bracelets.
this.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is this. We understand all that, but Christ came and told us that we are not to judge one another anymore. Meaning, we cannot enforce that law until He comes back. You
okay.
can't put nobody to death. You can't. You
Oh
can. You
yeah.
can't put two faggots to death no more. That's the
Right,
whole
right,
purpose of Christ taking us out of our kingdom. That's why we're in captivity right now.
right.
We don't have that authority.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just established that though. We just said that.
But that still don't mean you ain't got to get that paperwork together, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
paperwork means nothing, man. It's all
It
about.
does mean
It's all.
something, cause
No,
hey,
It's in the
not at this
book.
point.
I'm gonna tell you,
That's
I'm
that
I'm
was
gonna
that was
I'm gonna
talking
tell you.
about when we was in our kingdom. Now it's
Man,
all
we're
about
trying to reestablish the
executing.
kingdom, so we got to get back to the law, statutes, and
Bro,
commandments.
that's the law, bro. That brother,
That's one of the
bro,
laws.
you teaching against the law, brother.
I'm not
Yeah,
teaching against the law.
rehearse the righteous
When
act.
I'm when I'm that's not teaching against the law. What I'm trying to tell you is this: right now,
You've been overridden by three righteous brothers.
overwritten. Listen,
Well,
listen.
I don't know. I'm still listening to the matter. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? He brought he brought a very valid point when he said the Mashiach said don't judge nobody. You know what I mean? So like,
But we done
I'm
already
sitting there
established
thinking
you
about
can't
it.
put nobody to death until Hamashiach returns. That's a given. We all, most of us,
Right.
most sane Israelites already know that. It's only
Right.
pure psychos who had, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, but
20
you just
wives in one house, and then
Well,
one wife try to leave, and he
excuse
kills that
me,
wife
but
and kills.
I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I didn't know that. So it just go to show you that all the brothers don't know. I'm not that I enforce any of that, but I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you can't enforce the law anymore. God, the most Christ took that
Right, we
away.
don't have no power.
You understand that? That's taken from us.
No, it's
You know.
called keeping the law. It ain't forcing, it's keeping the law.
No,
So
we are supposed to keep the law, and I keep the law. Like I say, if I have sex with a woman, that's my wife now. I have one wife. It's not up to you to tell me that I'm breaking the law. That's up to the Most High.
I
If I
mean, but I
break the
showed
law,
you in the book though. I showed it to you out of
yeah, but
scriptures.
you showed me something from when we was in our kingdom. We're not in
Nah,
our
Are
brother.
you saying that
Nah,
that
brother.
you're not supposed to write that thing to get married? Is you
No,
but
what
what
I'm telling you, what
what
I'm telling you is you supposed to keep the law, meaning if you have sex with a woman, that is your wife.
yes or
You
no, man?
supposed
Are you supposed to write something
I'm gonna
to
say,
show?
let me say this. Well, before the Hebrews or before the brothers was circulating that paperwork, well, it was still Hebrews here who knew they was Hebrews. What was they doing?
I mean, I've been teaching since I was a Hebrew that you're supposed to write your vows and a contract down to lay down exactly what the stipulations of your marriage is, life to death do us part. You know what I'm saying? With all that stuff on paper. So you ain't supposed to
Exactly.
do it. You ain't
I'm
supposed to
with,
record it with no damn state.
I'm with you. I hear what you said, but I'm
Exactly.
saying the beautiful brother didn't know that.
Yeah, no,
No,
I
but brothers
understand that.
know
I'm
now.
just saying that. Well, why is Perry telling us that telling people that you're not supposed to write that stuff down on paper?
listen. If you want to write something down on paper, so be it. My main thing is
Am I
this.
so big? It's in the scripture. You're supposed to do it.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying, brother. You being
What I'm
contrary to the scriptures,
I'm
brother.
not being no. What I'm explaining it to you guys is this: when you have sex with a woman,
We know that.
whether you're writing it down on paper or not,
I think. Did you
Brother,
the
accept
sex
that
is
most,
the
too, Nas?
the
fulfillment of
most,
marriage,
listen,
brother.
listen, the most
Oh,
high
so
knows.
you haven't accepted that yet, Nas? That part.
Brother,
Right.
sex is the fulfillment of marriage. That's why we need to read Tobit chapter 7 verse 12 and finish it off. After they made the oath and after they done their thing, guess what they did at the end? Then
Right.
they went to have sex.
Okay.
You
All right.
don't
So
just jump
clarify this
into.
part then. What do you call sex without that lifelong commitment?
You said sex without what?
That lifelong commitment.
That would be
You ain't married. That ain't no damn marriage.
What is it?
right. That's
I mean,
adultery.
you committing adultery.
So that's a
Right.
sin. What?
Period. You
Sin
commit you commit
adultery.
you
Oh,
committing
so okay, so
fornication.
you
My
do
bad, my bad.
recognize
You
it's a
commit
sin. So
fornication. Not
you
adultery, but fornication.
So
okay,
y'all
thank
saying,
you. There you
let
go.
me say this. Let me say this. So you saying that if I have a verbal agreement, me and this woman, we sit down, right, and we have this verbal agreement that we gonna be together and we gonna be married in the eyes of the Most High. You saying that we got to get a piece of paper first before we can actually go ahead and do what we got to do?
Yeah, we gotta go according to the law. We gotta
Yeah,
go
man.
according to what the book say.
So,
And the book,
okay.
once again, so Deuteronomy chapter 24, Moses clearly says a written paper of divorce.
I'm
How
with you.
all of a sudden does a
Listen to what
paper
I'm saying.
Hold on. Calm
Listen
down.
to what I'm saying.
Calm down. It's
Let me
very
finish.
simple, Izu. You just go get a sheet of paper out to in your notebook. You write down what's gonna happen, the vows and the contract between you and your
Right.
future wife, and then you both of you sign it. Her father or the next righteous man, sign it. And
Absolutely.
everybody knows what it is. and you announce
You
it
need
to
the witnesses there.
as many
Right,
people as
right. Let
possible. You announce it to the family.
everything be done with 2 to 3 witnesses, right?
That's it.
Right. Right.
So
I'm with
it's just like the state thing situation, except for the state has taken over our authority, which the authority is supposed to go to the father and the family.
Right,
Hey, hold up.
right.
I'll finish hearing what the brother was trying to say though, right quick.
Right. What I'm saying is my Isha, my wife, you know what I'm saying? I never committed any adultery on her or none of that. You know what I mean? The Most High told me, hey, be with this woman. Like he told me, like he even gave witness and showed me these things. Now he ain't never showed me that law that y'all saying, but I ain't saying that I don't honor it. You know what I
So
mean? But go ahead.
let me ask y'all brothers a question. So
Hold on,
y'all
let him
said,
finish his whole thing.
hold on. No, I heard. Hold on, let me say this real quick. So you mean to tell me that you paid your wife? This is to claim your inheritance, and to the other brother, you paid your wife's father a dowry for her as well.
Well,
I
50 shekels is fucking $5,000. That's
So
nothing.
did you give your wife's father $5,000?
I don't have a wife.
you got a few ways to do it.
You don't have a wife.
Pay him
So,
that money.
so Najee,
You can either pay him that money.
did you give your wife's father $5,000 for her?
You can also
No,
be a servant.
I work for her.
So you work for your wife's father
Absolutely,
in what capacity? In the
absolutely.
gas station? What you do?
No, I went to Florida. I work for her.
Okay.
And I made my agreement with him and everything. All of that. You got to
Okay.
go according to the law of Moshe, man.
So
This stuff ain't no game.
how many years did you work for her father?
I only worked a year.
So you worked the whole
Only.
year.
Yeah, I worked a year.
And
That's all good.
now let's say
I'm not saying that
Lex,
that's wrong, but
Lex,
your wife's father. Let's say your wife's father is
man,
ignorant.
somebody shoot that plane out the sky.
You said what?
Let's say your wife's father is ignorant of being an Israelite. Then what? Because obviously your wife's father's
My,
he's
my
an
wife?
Israelite, right? He knows he's an
Nope,
Israelite.
absolutely not. He's not. But he accept my culture and he accept what I believe in.
Okay, now let's say the woman's father is a natural born Christian, and he say no, I'm not accepting that shit. I want you to go before the courts of law and get married like regular Christians do. Then what? And he
Then
tell
you know
you, I
what?
don't want
What
I
would
you.
you
guess,
He tell
have
hey,
you, I
done?
don't want you. I don't
I'm
want you
gonna
to
answer
work
your
in my
question.
restaurant.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Okay,
What?
You know what I'm gonna do?
what you gonna do?
It ain't meant to be.
Ho now. Ho.
It
That
ain't
just
meant to
proves
be.
now. That just proves that the father is not righteous. So if he's not righteous, you have to go to the next righteous man in the family. If you really want that woman, any righteous man is going to allow you to marry.
You can, but without an issue. If the father got an issue with going according to the law, et cetera, and come out of the ways of the heathen, hey, it's not meant to be. The father gonna set me up with a woman where I ain't gotta have no worries, no struggles, or any of that when I'm trying to be married to her, or committed to her at
That's
all.
right.
You feel what I'm saying? That's just the way the father
I
works.
hear you, brother. But all I'm saying is this: 90% of these women fathers are either not in their life or they don't know that they Israelite.
Well, hey,
You
that's why you need
overthinking
to.
it. You overanalyzing, bro.
I'm not
That's
overanalyzing
why.
anything. I'm telling you what it is. This is reality.
yeah,
I
and
know
that's
that.
real.
I'm just saying,
Like,
what you
look,
overanalyze. I just told you over and over again that if the father is
Not
acceptable, you go to the
all.
next righteous man in the family. If there
Okay,
are
Not
no
all of
righteous
them.
men in the family, if there's no righteous men in the family, then
but the
you're
Bible.
her
Hold on.
only head. How this don't
Okay,
make sense?
listen. The scripture tell you if the father is dead, then you go to the uncle. If the uncle is
Joshua, what you
dead,
think? What you think spiritual death is? That's death.
come on
You
now.
can
You
still be walking around
overanalyze.
here.
Now you overanalyzing things. How
Nah,
about how about you
hey,
just
that's just what I teach, dude.
now you overanalyzing things? How
Okay,
about
you
you just
repeating yourself now, but
how about
what
no?
I'm
You
saying is,
repeat yourself. How about you just
man,
how
let me
about you just
respond to what you're saying, cause you
okay,
trying
go
to
ahead,
teach
brother.
and you trying to overtalk and teach, and you
I'm
trying to
not
teach
over
the
talking
people
and
that's
teaching
gonna
nothing.
watch this video that they're not supposed to follow the law. And so what I'm trying to teach people is that you need to follow the law. So what I teach is that if a father is not righteous, he's spiritually dead. He's a walking zombie. He's the night of the living dead. He's a dead person. This is, in the eyes of God, this is what a person is when they don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, when they just retarded and just completely don't care nothing about the Bible. That's a dead person.
Like, okay, and what I'm trying to explain to you is everybody in my wife's family is dead.
Okay. So you're her only head.
So who do you go to then?
Then you're her only head.
Okay, so I write a bill of, me and her just write a piece of paper out of a notebook. Who's gonna enforce that piece of paper?
The Heavenly Father.
Okay then. So what's the difference between me just telling her in a verbal agreement that this sex represents marriage? And
well, you know what I'm saying? You need some evidence other than verbal, my man, because you're supposed to announce your marriage to the nation, to the families.
But I just told you that everybody's dead in the family. So what more evidence we need?
Here's the disconnect right here, though. Does Tobit override the Torah? Because, you know, in the Torah it tells us to write a bill of divorcement, but I still have not seen a verse in the Torah where it says we have to write a marriage agreement.
Yeah, but you heard in Tobit, he said, you heard in Tobit, it said after the law of Moses.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Did Adam and Eve
hold on, y'all. Let me help you out. Hey, anytime the Torah does not address an issue, then that's why the Apocrypha is there, because it's addressed particular issues. In this case, it doesn't. The Torah doesn't address the agreement of marriage. So you go to the Apocrypha and say, here's the agreement of marriage.
Okay, so did Adam and Eve have an agreement of marriage?
It's not overriding the Torah at all.
Did Adam and Eve
addressing the issue that the Torah
write on a piece of paper?
Hold on, Perry. The Torah tells you what the marriage agreement is. It tells you about the dowry. It tells you about the sheets in the wedding chamber. You know what I mean? It tells you the ceremonies and all that.
Basically, that's in the Torah. And what did Christ say? He brought it back to Adam and Eve. So once again, I ask you, did Adam and Eve write a piece of paper?
Adam and Eve knew how to write.
Christ said that Moses. Christ said God didn't put that divorce thing in there.
Adam and Eve knew how to write.
Moses put
that was a cut.
It said that Moses put that in there because the people. So, like I said, Christ said he took it back to Adam and Eve. When a man and a woman have sex, they are joined onto one another. So once again, did Adam and Eve have a piece of paper?
That's
because
true.
Christ told us to go back.
I can't. You know what? I can't answer the question.
He didn't have anybody that needed to witness
hold up, but I can't answer the question according to Adam and Eve, and the reason why is because the whole story of Adam and Eve is not even there, and that's facts.
He talking about multiple.
No, we not that. I don't think that's the point that he was making. I think the point that he was making was, if we're saying we're going by the law of Moshe, because that's what it sounds like that we're hearing. What you know, it's like saying the law of Moshe. But when the Mashiach was asked about marriage, he went before the law of Moshe, and he went back to the beginning, and that's what the brother was saying. So now we ask ourselves this question: are we honoring the Torah of Moshe, or are we honoring Torah as a whole?
We're honoring it as a whole.
Absolutely, I'm with you. So then did Adam and Eve write a bill of divorce?
But once again,
a bill,
they never got divorced though.
Or a marriage, or a bill of marriage. That's what we're talking about.
Who they need to show this to?
Okay, once again,
I don't think they need to show it to nobody.
Once again, my whole wife's family is dead. All of the men is dead. Just like Adam and Eve, it's just me and my wife. So I ask you again, did they have?
No, we're your family too. You need to show us the agreement.
Okay, so now we.
I
didn't know y'all when I got married to my wife though.
When he created Adam and Eve, Adam did kind of make a agreement when he said this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh.
This my yes, sir.
Which was a
Amen.
verbal, which was
Amen.
goes back to my point. That was a verbal agreement.
Man,
Amen.
but if you gonna run the Adam and Eve though, brother, that whole story of Adam and Eve is not even in Genesis, brother. So we gotta keep it 100.
Listen.
We
in
gotta
the
keep it
law,
100.
hold on, I'm gonna keep it 100. Christ said this also. Not only if you have sex with another man's wife had you committed adultery, but if you even think about having sex with another man's wife, have you committed adultery?
Right.
So is that written in the law?
Right.
No.
What about the
Okay.
fornication?
What about it?
So what's fornication?
Fornication is jerking off. Anything that's perverted.
Man, stop the madness. Fornication, having
So
sex. Having sex.
So fornication is not having sex with a woman. So fornication is not having sex with a woman without being married, right?
That's what it is.
No, fornication. That's something that the church
No.
came up with. That's
Hell
came
no. Hell no. Hell no.
It's idolatry.
To say that sex without marriage is fornication is an oxymoron. Sex is
Let me
marriage.
say this. Let me say this. Let me say this.
No,
Let
it's
me say this.
not.
If the woman, no, if the woman is unaware,
Let me say
if
this.
the woman
Let
is
me say this.
unaware
This
that
is why.
sex is marriage, if the woman is unaware that sex is marriage, that's fornication. Because she doesn't know that y'all are married. And then she just gonna go about her business.
Exactly.
Like, why you so clingy?
Listen. Wait, y'all.
Talking about
See,
marriage
this is
already? We
this-
only had sex one time,
Listen,
and the dick
listen.
wasn't even that good.
All right, listen, y'all. This is where you have to go off into the Hebrew because English. Listen why. Because English plays games with these words like fornication, whoremonger, adultery. Sometimes you look up these words and they be the same word, but English give you different titles and try to make it seem like it's something different than the other one. So if somebody can, let's find fornication within the Old Testament. You know what I mean? Let's find it there and let's see what the actual word is. And then we'll go to the New Testament and I'll find fornication in that as well and even see if it's the same word or not. You know what I mean? Because that's what English does. That's the problem with English. Because then it'll have us in Babel. We'll be sitting here saying, well, what is adultery? What is fornication? What is whoremongering? What is these things? And sometimes
the definitions describe the title, though.
Yeah, from an English paradigm, but from our culture, it might all be just the same word or the same thing.
Is someone who ain't married and having sex, brother. Plus many other stuff.
That came from the church, brother.
Well, let me say this. Wait a minute. If you saying that fornication is people who marry who are having sex, well, in the book of Revelations, it says that the whore of Babylon calls men to have fornication with her. Now, does that mean that they will
we're not talking about spiritual.
Now you running into a completely different parable.
Other gods. We're talking about
how so? But that's what I just said about English. What they use the words as. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So if you go sit up here, if you go sit up here,
but that's just like virgin.
Say that. Listen, what you said. You said that fornication is a man and a woman having sex that are not married. Okay, then that's your English definition of fornication. So how does that definition apply when it's talking about the whore of Babylon? Obviously, it's not talking about that. So then that word, we have to see what it actually means. It might be something deeper than a man and a woman.
Okay, so now I'm gonna answer your question. So according to the scripture, if we're dealing with Revelation, and according to the scripture, it clearly tells us the whore of Babylon. We have committed fornication dealing with the whore of Babylon. What are we doing? The Most High in the book of Ezekiel or Jeremiah, he calls us the woman, right? He calls us the woman. So us being a woman and we go worship other gods, basically we're cheating on the Father, right?
Exactly.
So once again, fornication is if you're not married and you sleeping around, cheating and messing with other women, you have committed fornication. Period. Just like we can go.
That doesn't match up.
I thought sex was marriage, y'all.
hold
I
on,
thought
Just like
sex
hold
was
just like
on.
if
marriage,
we
so that
deal
kind
with
of contradicts.
We got it, Nazir. But
sex ain't
he
marriage.
let him build on his reasoning right quick, and then let's see what he's talking about right quick.
Whoever
So
has that,
I got Zana up here.
Hey, you
so just like
cannot
the
say
brother
sex is
claimed that the
marriage.
English word, just like the brother claimed that the English word is completely different from the Hebrew. Now I can
no, no
use
one
Let
said
him
for the
that.
build.
No one
definition.
said that. No one
Let him
said
build
that.
on
Let
his
me let me stop
reasoning
that real
for a
quick.
second here. Let him build on his reasoning for a second here. I got
Scroll
Zana up
down.
here.
Whoever has this 2-letter lookup, or I'm sorry, this blue letter Bible, scroll down to see how many translations they have. Now stop right there. No, go back up. Go up. No, because I want to see it in script. I don't care about
Oh,
what the English says. Go
oh,
back.
okay.
Go back to the thing. Now stop right there. Now 36 times in the scripture they have that word as harlot. Another time they have it as a goer hoarding or whoredom. You see that? Another time they have it as commit fornication. Another time harlot. Now we is not married to anybody. A harlot is a person who sells themselves to someone else.
Okay,
Exactly.
No,
that's
a harlot is also a woman. A harlot is also a woman going around sleeping with many men.
No, but the point
Exactly.
is this.
But
But
she's
this is
not
the
married.
point.
Go
Nowhere
ahead.
doesn't say. Nowhere doesn't
Exactly.
say sex before
So
marriage.
that's fornication.
No, fornication. It
Man,
don't say
wow,
sex before marriage. That's something that
Right.
the
wow,
church came up with.
terrible, terrible,
The church came up with.
it's not sex before marriage. It's sex
terrible.
without marrying.
No,
Sex
brother, don't
without
say that
committing.
either. Sex is marriage. For you to say fornication is sex
No,
God,
it's not.
before marriage or sex before having marriage papers, that's an oxymoron, man. Sex is marriage.
Yeah.
That came from the church.
we know that sex is marriage, my man. What I'm
Right there. So
Fornication
what do you
clearly,
mean
right here. When I'm
fornication is
looking at
sex
the
before
definition,
marriage? That's what your man said.
fornication right here. When I'm looking at this fornication, I clearly see harlot. Whoremonger. A
Right.
female could be a whoremonger, harlot, whatever. If you running around land, how do you be a harlot? It's someone that's running around laying down with someone without being married. Fornication, brother. It shows it right there.
That's not true, brother. Listen,
It's showing it right there.
When Christ came
Hey,
across
Wow.
There you go.
when Christ came across
y'all
that
got
woman, I'm gonna show you how sex is marriage.
Wow.
When Christ came across that woman from Samaria, right, and she wanted
Cut.
him to teach her, he said, "Go and get
Cut.
a husband, and then I teach you."
Cut.
She said, "I have no husband." He said,
all right, go ahead and do your reasoning right quick.
Got 5 husbands.
Go ahead, Izu.
Exactly.
Finish your thought on your reasoning that you're talking about with this
He
Zana
just
here.
slam dunked it. He just slam dunked it. He got that by revelation. I know he did. All you got to do is put Christ in these situations. And that's exactly what Christ said. She said, I have no husband. Even though she was sleeping with men, she said, I have no husband. Christ said, no, you have had 5 husbands. And the one that you with now is not your husband.
The one that she having sex. How you know that was having sex?
I don't know if they was having sex or not. I'm just telling you what Christ said. Christ said that the woman had 5 husbands. How?
Stories of
"By
that
having sex with her."
woman.
Yeah.
That's how.
So
So sex is marriage.
of that woman is written in the Bible.
It don't say that she was having sex with the guy she was with at the current time.
It said that she had 5 husbands. You tell me how she had 5 husbands.
By having sex with them.
Okay then. So sex
Exactly.
is marriage.
We know that.
What's the problem?
The
he's talking
problem is, hold on.
why he's talking
Hold
to
on,
Nasi.
man.
He's talking to Nasi though.
Hold on, man. The problem is
Respond
that,
to him, but
man, this
I
man
keep
ain't saying
arguing
nothing
with
in
you.
30 minutes and then gonna want to cut me off when I'm trying to talk.
Because he's not arguing with you, man. He's talking to Nasi Mitzvah.
I don't care who he talking to. We on my show and I'm trying to teach the people the right way. And
We on
Shalom.
the same
you
page.
sitting here telling people that fornication is marriage. That's not
I never
marriage.
said that. I never
No.
said
Okay, so that's what we're
I
trying
ain't
to
said
explain
that.
to you, that these people that are fornicating
I
are
ain't
having
said that.
sex. So they are having sex and they have married illegally. They have done an
I
illegal
didn't
marriage
say.
by
Let me
joining their
clear this
partner.
up. Let me
Hold on.
clear this up.
Okay, clear
Let me
this
clear
up.
this up. I never said fornication is marriage. I never said that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So there we go.
I don't think fornication. I don't wait. Let me say this also. I don't think fornication is sexual at all. To be honest with
Me
you.
neither. Me neither.
That's a hilarious.
Because how can is fornication adultery in like a physical sense?
Adultery is when you have sex with a married woman or a married man.
But
Fornication is when you
but
have
so how can
fornications when
And
you
I,
have
how
fornications
can
when you have sex with a single woman or a single man and don't commit to them for life. It's a very
but
simple concept.
I
but
think
how
that you
can
got.
sex
I think that
constitute
those.
marriage and then you have sex with another partner and then it not be adultery?
That's called an
Either way, you think
oxymoron.
about it. Exactly, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all saying when you lay down with someone, that's marriage. They automatically marriage,
That's
right?
right.
Hey,
hmm
so
Okay, so how that's if they go off
So,
and
but when you have
think
an illegal
they have the
marriage,
idea that
you
they
ever
can,
heard of an annulment?
yeah.
Okay, so an annulment is when you get married to somebody, and then a month or 2 or 3 months later, you file for an annulment, which is not a divorce because you're still newlyweds. So you're considered, you know what I'm saying, like you never even married before.
But
So
that's
it's
according to the
But
country we're living in
right.
now.
So what I'm
yeah,
explaining to you is that
That's
when
not according to the Bible. There's no annulment in the Bible.
that is according to the Bible. So what I'm explaining is when you have sex with a person, you're supposed to commit to them for life. When you don't do this, you have done an illegal joining together, commencement, consummation,
adultery,
an illegal,
adultery.
an illegal consummation. So
But
you have annulled that marriage. You have, you know what I'm saying? You can't divorce the person because the woman don't even know that y'all married. You just going around being a whore.
hey,
but
so Ak was about to break down the Hebrew forms right quick. The Zanah and I pulled up Zanah
Hey, so
for the
I was about to break down the
for
Hebrew forms
fornication.
right quick.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you was talking about breaking down the Hebrew when it comes to these words like fornication and adultery.
yeah. I just wanted to see the English because what they do. We got an echo.
Hey, Nancy, mute your mic right quick.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily want to break it down. What I wanted to do is show that English would define this one word, which is this three-letter word here, as multiple different meanings, or they'll give it multiple different definitions, like whoremongering, fornication, adultery. They'll use these four different words, where in our culture, it's just one word. And actually, when I research the word, it just means to be excess, meaning like too much, like you're doing too much or you're showing too much, like you're exposing too much. That's what it represents. You see what I mean? Like a harlot will show more than what she needs to show, that type of thing, or
I know
expose more
not
than
in
she
the
needs to
Bible.
expose.
In the Bible, the man was walking along the road and saw a woman dressed from head to toe in like a one of those those Muslim gear with her face covered and all that shit.
Hmm.
And they
That's
said
so she didn't
she's
know who
dressed
he
like a
was.
harlot.
Hmm.
That's so she didn't know who he was.
Huh?
That's so she didn't know who he was. You talking about Judah? That's
What
that's
I'm
so.
explaining is, do you pay attention or do you just skim through it?
I heard what
Well,
you said.
How
you
did you hear
might
what
be
I said when I just said
you
something
might
totally
be
different?
you said not in the Bible, and then you gave one example. We are to look
Right,
line up a
because
line,
that's the
precept
only
upon precept,
that's the
here a little,
only
there a little. If you can find me where every harlot in the Bible was fully clothed, then what you just
That's the
said would be
only
valid.
example of a harlot's dress in the Bible is when it was covered from head to toe and her face was covered. It said she's dressed like a harlot.
That's at that
Mhm.
time. That's and like the brother Amaziah just said, she didn't want to be seen. That was at that time though.
Oh, that
The,
mercy.
the dress of a
Guys
harlot changed over
this
time.
the most
It's a silly
argumentative
argument.
panel I've ever been on.
It's a silly argument because you're trying to
Ain't
make
no silly
something.
argument.
It
Everything
is
in
a
the
silly
Bible is
argument
valid
because you're
and legit.
wrong. You're trying to make something that's not there. Like
Everything
I
in the
say, at
Bible,
the end of the
everything in the
day,
Bible is legit to me. Everything is perfectly perfect.
Right.
I don't go by no you talking about the Bible is wrong. It says
Right.
she's a harlot. It
But
says she dresses you.
Right.
it's not that the, let me say this. It's not
Okay,
that the
so I
Bible
gotta
is
can I
wrong.
make a statement?
It's the translations that they're
Can
giving you
I
is
make
wrong.
a statement real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. All right. So since the brother's using the strong concordance, I'm gonna just show something. Hey, use that concordance for version real quick.
Yeah, I know about ILM. I know what that means. I can break it down. I understand what you mean. I'm not using. I have my own actual dictionary where I break down these words myself according to Ibra math. I'm not saying that
Brother,
I get
I'm
these. I'm
asking,
not
brother,
giving
I
you.
asked you,
Wait,
brother.
let me
Use
finish.
that
Let me finish.
blue drive
Let me
garbage.
let
Use
me
it and
finish.
show me what version mean.
Okay. I see that this is probably gonna be unfruitful because I can't finish my thought, and there's no real reason for me to
Brother,
continue.
you been talking the whole.
I can't hear you. You breaking up. It's an echo.
Okay, you talking about Bethula? Look at his face froze in the funny. You talking about Bethula? Bethula? Oh, Bethula, I mean.
This
Nah,
phone keep going
hey,
in and out.
Yizu, he thought Yizu was the one that brought up the blue letter, man.
Yeah, I
I don't
understand.
know who it was. Whoever using the blue leather, go back there and show me what version mean.
Okay, I got Bethula. You want Bethula?
Whatever. Y'all people say that it means young girl, right?
Yeah, people do lie and say that. Yeah, okay.
Hey, Nasi, you believe in the virgin birth?
No, man, I mean, but it does also
Hell yeah, I
mean
believe
young
in the
girl.
virgin birth.
It also means young girl though, but it says right here. It says as far as the Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, it says a virgin is pure and unspotted, so called as being separated and secluded from intercourse with men.
Hey, Yizu, you believe in the virgin birth?
I do believe in the virgin birth. I do.
You don't believe he
I
came
believe.
from the seed
So
of David?
basically what I'm saying, my point I was trying to make is the blue letter or all of
We
that
have two.
concordance, a lot of that stuff is not accurate.
Yeah, we know that
For the
already.
fact of this,
That's not what we was using it for. That's what I was trying to tell you. We was trying to use it to show. We was
hold on,
using it to show.
I'm gonna be
Hello,
right back.
hello,
I
hello,
can't hear
hello.
y'all
Let me
really. I'm gonna be
finish. Let
back.
me finish.
Nah, he can't. He
Hello.
can't hear you. He got to refresh and all that stuff.
Yeah, we were using this to show
I'll
how
be right
many
back.
times. We were using this to show how many times it was used in the Bible,
For
the
that one
different
word.
words. Not that we saying that this is accurate definitions that they're giving. That's not what it is. Like I said, I have my own dictionary where I break down these things according to Ibra math. But the reason why I believe in the virgin birth is because of what that actually represents. Now, a person asking me, well, they'll say they'll.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, you still echoing.
Okay, let me refresh him on what you said right quick.
Okay.
Hey, so he was saying that we pulled up Zanah to show that that one word is used eight different English words. You see what I'm saying?
So version. Many people say that the virgin only means a woman of young age. Who here agrees with that?
I agree
Aratazar
with that.
and Amaziah.
I've never heard nobody say that a virgin means only a woman of young age. I heard people say that it can mean a woman that was never touched as well as a young maiden.
A woman that was never touched and a woman of what?
I heard people say that it's a woman that was never touched, and also it could mean a young maiden.
A young maiden.
Yeah,
All right.
that could be.
Now let's see.
It's used as both.
All right. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how the concordance is a lie. Now let's go to Deuteronomy. Basically, to show the law.
Yeah, he's on the concordance time.
Deuteronomy what?
We're gonna go to Deuteronomy. Basically, which one of y'all know the scripture by heart, man? That it speak about the when they brought the token, the blanket with the blood on it.
2015.
Most deaf. Let's get it.
What's the book and verse?
Deuteronomy 22, and you can start at verse
Verse what?
Go to Deuteronomy 22 and 15.
15. Okay. Electronics is damn throwing haywire today.
Nah, that's homie. His sound is messed up. Everybody else good.
Okay, it says, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city and the gate.
So we clearly see right here that a virgin is a woman that ain't never had sex. But in the concordance, it's completely different. This is in the law.
What does the concordance say? Don't it say the same thing?
No, the concordance say a woman that has not been touched and a young girl.
Yeah, that's the same. Okay, it's saying that it can be a woman that wasn't touched as well as a young girl. It can be either.
Okay,
hold on. Let me clarify that right quick. Because
okay, go ahead, Clint.
It says a virgin is a pure and unspotted, so-called as being separated and secluded from intercourse with men, meaning that she does not have intercourse with men.
Right.
And it says virgin or religious, especially of the Virgin Mary.
Right. So that clearly that right there kills. You know that Yahushua Mashiach came through the virgin birth. You feel what I'm saying? But many camps and many brothers out here teach that Yahushua Mashiach or Mary, she had sex with Joseph. So, you know, I just wanted to touch topic on that because brothers use the concordance. It may not be the blue letter, but they use the KJV sword or my sword concordance.
Yeah,
it says completely different.
Yeah, that's
also
the same thing.
Also believe that Mary came
since it has multiple definitions, they stick to the one that they want to promote.
That they want to use.
Exactly. So
I also believe that he came from a virgin birth. You know, I believe that too. But
why is it called Isaiah's wife?
Isaiah what?
Why is it called Isaiah's wife?
Why do it? Can we show where Isaiah's wife? You said why did they call Isaiah mom?
No, it called Isaiah's wife virgin and she already had a baby.
Okay, but could we show where Isaiah's wife had sex?
Book and verse.
Say again.
Can we show that?
Isaiah 7:14.
So yeah, where it showed, but I need to show where she had sex at.
What do you mean? He already had a son.
Yeah, but where does it show where she had sex at?
Who are you talking about? Isaiah's wife?
Think a little more.
Isaiah 7:14.
7:14. This ain't Isaiah's wife.
That ain't Isaiah's wife. That's Isaiah's mama.
This ain't Isaiah's mama either. Isaiah 7:14 is the prophecy of a Mashiach. Therefore,
I agree with that.
The Most High
I agree with that.
Will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, which is God with us, which is Yahushua Mashiach. All right. So
And the word is Alma, which is simply a virgin. Oh well, let me see here. It's a virgin
Hold on.
young woman of marriageable age, maid or newly married. Or newly married. It's a
I'm
different
trying to
word.
show y'all.
And the Gesenius Hebrew College Lexicon says of the preceding a girl of marriageable age.
Hey, now see your phone. But now what I'm trying to show y'all is this prophecy is also about Isaiah's children. Because if you go
It's
over to
not
Isaiah
also
8,
about Isaiah's children, because
it is.
Isaiah's
It
children were
is
never
too.
called Emmanuel.
Neither was Yahusha.
Yes, he
But check this
was.
out. Isaiah 8:18 says, "Behold, I and the children."
Mashiach was called Emmanuel, dude.
Where?
I'm going to bring it up.
Now I believe.
that's why you got to deal with the Hebrew, because when you deal with the Hebrew on Emmanuel, you will see what it actually means.
I know what it means.
Yeah, and that's Yahusha all the way. Nobody fit the names.
I'm these people, and then the Y is connection, a connection or a tent peg, and the all
Yep.
is the Most High. But what I'm showing is this. In Isaiah 8:18 says, "Behold, I and the children whom Yahuwah hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel from Yahuwah of hosts which dwelleth in Mount Zion." So these are also prophecies about Isaiah's children.
Where does it show that at?
Nowhere.
I need to see that,
Go to the very next chapter.
because I know Isaiah chapter 8 is run Judah being threatened. So how do you get that being Isaiah children?
He can't. His son name was Maher-Shalal Hashabaz.
He had another son as well. He had two sons.
Well, this is the one that they claim is Emmanuel. It was the King of Kings and
When
the
that's a
wonderful
completely
counselor.
different, name and meaning.
hmm So the New
That's a
Testament
way completely different name.
Yeah,
told
but
you
the
the
same
New
thing goes.
Testament. That's a Torah only argument. The New Testament completely tells you who Isaiah 7:14 is talking about.
So
Right.
prophecies can't happen more than once.
Absolutely not. Okay, so now Matthew 1:23 Mashiach's birth fulfills, behold, the virgin shall be with child and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is being interpreted Yahuwah with us. So what are you talking about? Are you Torah only now?
Now, what I'm saying is that prophecy was first given to him about his son.
Prophecies only happen one time.
All prophecies happen one time.
All prophecies only happen one time.
What is that breakdown you give about Revelation?
Where
Chapter
is that at? Where it says prophecy is only
Yo, cuz, you gotta mute your mic, man.
Hold on. Somebody want to say something.
I said that mic echoing, man. The homie gotta mute his mic.
Yeah, your phone is crazy. Can you turn it down? All you have to do is turn your volume down or something. Go ahead. You wanted to know where is that written that prophecies only happen one time, Jesus?
Yeah, where is that?
It's not written in the Bible
Boy, where you get it from there?
because every prophecy you see only happens one time.
Hey, but you always say that the woman going into the wilderness is us coming to America.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But Mary and Yahusha went into Egypt for the same amount of time that it tells you in that scripture.
What?
They went into Egypt for 1,260 days.
So you saying Revelation is a history book?
It's both.
I'm
No, let
talking
me say this.
about a history from their
Revelation,
time, dude.
Revelations, and all the word of Yah is what is, what was, and what will come. Actually,
Uh-huh. Okay, so
And
show
it
me a
also
prophecy
states,
that happened more than once.
that there's no new thing under the sun.
Show me a prophecy
absolutely.
that.
When you look at the translation of that word "new,"
Oh
you
man.
act when you look at the
Show me a
translation of the
prophecy
word
that
"new."
happened more than once, dude. Pay attention to the
Let me
question.
say this: when you look at that translation where it says "new," that's actually the word "lach," and "lach" means like fresh, like to renew. Just as grass repeats itself after each season.
Oh my gosh. So you if you can't demonstrate, you just ain't gonna demonstrate.
I can I can show you a prophecy happened
Second
more than once.
Samuel 12.
Okay, there we go. That's what I want.
Second
All
Samuel
right,
12.
let's go to the curses in the book of Deuteronomy.
Okay.
You got the curses in the book of Deuteronomy 28. Basically, it's referring to, let me read it. Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field, cursed shalt thou be in the basket, thy store. And all of these curses happen in the book of Judges.
Real
He got
talk.
you on that.
So
Not
now
I mean he
we
got me
can
on that.
show
Stop
we,
being a
we can
cheerleader.
show
That
the
happened
curses.
more than once. It didn't
We can
happen
show
more
the
than once.
It did happen more than
They
once.
broke the covenant one
That
time
happened
and
though.
and
That
the curse.
happened
now.
more than once.
Hold on. But now we can show you in the book of Judges that
If you
these
calm your
curses
ass
was
down, I
happening.
hate when people repeat themselves.
No, I'm
Oh,
just
you
trying
know
to
what
I'm
I'm saying,
trying to
Perry?
explain it because
No,
I
I'm
think
talking
I got
about
cut off
Perry.
or something.
I'm talking about
I ain't
Perry.
repeat myself, nigga. That's just the motherfucking echo in the background.
No, you keep saying it happened more than once. It happened more than
I
once.
said that shit one time. I said that shit once.
I'm gonna need you to calm that
Yeah,
shit
crazy.
down.
I'm gonna
What I'm
need you to
saying is
calm
right
down.
here. The book say it will follow you forever. These curses will follow you forever.
Right.
Okay, so it didn't happen more than once. It's follow. It actually did that.
Yeah, it did that, but today we are also here. Let me give you a scripture and a precept. And I'm gonna show you to
Gosh,
show it that we are in
is
the
that the only one you got, bro?
no, I'm gonna go
Hey,
to Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy 28:68.
hey, and Nasi, Isaiah 83, it says, and I
It
went unto
says,
the prophetess. Hey, Nasi, you hear me?
yeah,
When I said that this was about Isaiah's wife, it said, and I went into the prophetess and she conceived and bare a son. It said, Yahuwah to me called his name Mahershala.
right.
That's when he had sex with her, but she was a virgin though.
So Deuteronomy 28:68, just to show the Ak that this happened more than once. It says, and Yahuwah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Showing you that we shall be sold unto our enemies. But many people use the scripture just to push it to the Atlantic slave trade, but not really, show it in its original terms. So now I'm gonna go to Judges chapter 10, verse 7. And the anger of Yahuwah was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of the Philistines and to the hands of the children of Ammon. So this is the precept of Deuteronomy chapter 28 when he said he would sell us to our enemies. And then the Atlantic slave trade happened, and we were sold unto the European people today, showing you that prophecy has happened over and over and over because of our disobedience.
Man, I just explained that in Deuteronomy it says that these curses will follow you forever. So that only happened one time. How many forevers can we get?
I see what you're saying now, because you're using the word forever. I see what you're saying now.
The book uses the word forever.
I mean, I know it used the word forever, but at the same time, it still shows throughout all of the time that we left the homeland, our homeland, we was sold unto the enemies over and over and over and over. So it happened more than once. But if you're gonna mold it into just forever, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, because I definitely do agree with that. Cause I teach that too. That these curses are a recurring thing over and over again, but it is tied into forever. So I guess the forever ends whenever
Wait a minute.
Hamashiach
So
begins.
you saying
Okay,
so
so how
you
come?
saying that you can't wait a minute, wait a minute. So you saying that the Mashiach didn't redeem us from the curse of the law? Because if you saying it happens forever, then that means it can't stop.
Basically.
Well, you know, I be having theories about how long forever is too, but I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too far off track.
I mean, it's
The,
all
the,
good. You lose, you win some, you lose some, baby. That's
I
all.
ain't lose nothing.
You lost a few tonight.
I ain't lose nothing.
Okay, so nobody showed me yet how come it calls Isaiah's wife the prophetess the virgin, and she already had a baby.
Man, you ain't showed us
Rufus
his
is
wife
a
was a
let me
virgin.
say this.
look.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I don't I don't know if if Mary was an actual virgin. Like I don't know that, but I don't know if she wasn't either. What I'm saying is
Absolutely.
you can't tell that really by the words that they give you in their definitions.
Are you talking
Like
about
they
Isaiah
telling you,
6:14 again?
I'm talking about in the word virgin
I'm talking
itself.
about
Like
Amaziah.
Yeah, I can show you where she had a baby, and then he gets that prophecy. It tells you that his children were given to him for signs and wonders, and she was already had a baby, and then had another one, and in between that time, it said that a virgin will conceive, and that's not just talking about Hamashiach.
What?
The child that
Hold on, hold on. So show me where she had a baby before Emmanuel.
she had
A child named Emmanuel.
Sheer just showed.
Huh?
And let's see, it says, then said Yahuwah, Isaiah 73. Then said Yahuwah unto Isaiah, go forth now to me Ahaz, Al and Shear Jashub thy son, at the end of the conduit, the upper pool, and the
hey Nazi,
highway
when he
of the field.
talking, mute your mic because it keep echoing. I can hear you. Go ahead, say it again, brother.
Okay, Isaiah 73. Then said Yahuwah unto Isaiah, go forth now to meet Ahaz, thou and Shear Jashub thy son, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool and the highway of the fullest field. And say unto him, take heed and be quiet, fear not, neither be faint-hearted, for the two tails of these smoking firebrands of the fierce anger of reason with Syria and of the son of Remaliah, because Syria, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah have taken evil counsel against thee, saying, let us go up against Judah and vex it, and let us make a breach therein for us, and set a king in the midst of it, even the son of Tabiel. Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, it shall not stand, neither shall it come to pass. For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is reason, and within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken, that it be not a people. And the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is Remaliah's son. If ye will not believe, surely ye shall not be established. Moreover, Yahuwah spake again unto Ahaz, saying, ask thee a sign of Yahuwah al-Haikah, ask it either in the depth or in the height above. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, neither will I tempt Yahuwah. And he said, hear ye now, O house of David. Is it a small thing for you to weary men, but will ye weary my Elohim also? Therefore Yahuwah himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So this was a sign directly to Ahaz that did happen in the very next chapter as well. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, do you believe that this could be twofold?
Yeah, of course. It was because
It won't
Okay.
twofold at
Right,
all.
right.
It
just like
says right here, butter and honey shall eat, that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good.
You hear
For
me now?
before the child shall know to refuse the evil and choose the good, the
Hey, I
land is
can't hear you,
led out of
Devar. Devar, I can't
Can't
hear
hear
you.
you.
Yeah, he stopped. He tried to stop right there. You might
no,
as well just
I'm
read that one verse.
trying to answer the man's question because it said that this is a sign to Ahaz, right?
Yeah.
So, okay,
Just
so in the
like
very
just
next
like
chapter,
Deuteronomy was assigned to the Israelites. It
right?
didn't
But
happen
it's
till
no different.
3,300, 400 years later.
It's no different than how we got sold into slavery without ships, and then we get sold into slavery with ships. So you got a child that comes in by a virgin, and he might not fit all the prophecies, but you got another child by a virgin that fit
It
all
don't
the
say
prophecies.
that Isaiah's gonna have a child by a virgin, dude. It says
But okay,
ask
so
for a
go
sign.
to the very next chapter then. Go to Isaiah chapter 8 then.
Why would I do that when I could
Go
just
to,
look
because
at 7?
it says Yahuwah himself shall give you a sign. All right, so go to the very next chapter.
What is you talking about 7-11?
Go to no chapter 8.
You see how you can't hold up the scrutiny
Go to
because I'm
8.
trying
You
to
got
I'm trying to follow your
you got
logic.
to go upon precept.
Say what?
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 8 is the precept to that.
Nah, I'm trying to follow your logic and I'm asking
Here,
you something
I'll
where
pull
I'm
it up.
stuck at. Huh?
I'll pull it up. I just read all that from
What you
this
mean
verse
you gonna
1
pull
to
it
verse
up? All right, so you just
Okay,
gonna
so
skip over the students' confusion and just go straight to where you want to go?
I'm trying to show you what are you talking about? This is a precept.
Dude,
Okay,
you said
Isaiah
that.
8 and 18. Behold, I and the children
Hold
whom
up, you
Yahuwah hath
finna
given
just
me.
talk over me and rule me? Are you my
Wow, ain't
ruler?
nobody trying to rule you, man. You asking me for what I'm talking about, and you ain't letting me bring it out.
I see what you done got big bold. You big
Hey, you
bold as
wailing out
that.
tonight, Devar. Cut it out, man.
Nah,
Stop it.
y'all niggas is bold
Stop
over
it, man.
here.
Nah, you wailing, my nigga. You
Why
bugging,
am I
man.
wilding?
Cause you acting prideful, man. Chill, man. Let that man prove his point,
I'm
and if
super
he can't
chill,
prove
dude.
it,
And
let
you
it
still
go, man.
talking crazy.
Ain't nobody talking crazy, man. We can say what the fuck we want, nigga.
How
But
can
you,
you say what the fuck you want when I got the master key to the volume level?
dog. So I will give a fuck, brother.
I don't understand what you mean by you can just say what the fuck you want. Confusing me. You know what I'm saying? I can turn your volume off anytime I choose to. What do you mean? All right, so what I'm saying is right here. You got Isaiah. He said that this is specifically talking about Isaiah's son. So I wanted him to show me in Isaiah 7 where it's talking about Isaiah's son. Then once he does that, then we can go to chapter 8. But since since y'all big britches over here, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let you talk about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let the rest of this 15 minutes run out. We're gonna talk about something else. Oh, boy, tonight, boy, y'all treat me like a little kid. You crazy? I ain't mad at all. I'm not finna let you sit here and talk to me like you crazy. I turned your mic down because you sitting there telling me you gonna just go and do whatever you want to do. Crazy as hell. That verse is specifically talking about Hamashiach. But if you can show it to me, then that's fine. You know, I don't mind you showing it to me. But when I ask a question, I want the question answered, and then you can move on to wherever you want to go. If you ain't gonna do that, I already see that's not possible with you right now. You know what I'm saying? You guys got big old britches with no belts on.
Hey, Amaziah.
He can't talk. His mic is permanently muted for the next
Right,
14
cause
minutes.
no, cause I just wanted to know. I wanted to ask him a question about, Emmanuel, what it means in the Hebrew, and also what does Maharsha Allah Hashabaz mean in the Hebrew.
He know what those
I
mean.
want to see if these two are the same meanings, cause I believe that's talking about a Mashiach, but
They both are not the same either.
Yeah, Yahushua isn't. It's my fault. Yeah, Yahushua and Emmanuel don't mean the same thing.
I mean, but Yahushua
It was a
ain't
it was a
in the Bible.
title. It was a title given to so the Most High show His signs and wonder. The Most High, like during that time, he was he was in His wrath. He was showing His wrath. You know what I mean? That's why His name is what it is, because He said He was gonna do it.
Yeah, but Yahushua ain't in the Bible nowhere.
That's not true. It's all throughout the Bible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, chapter and verse, right quick.
The book of I was going to say the book of Joshua, but anywhere Joshua name, that's the same name. Yahushua, Yahushua, however you want to pronounce it. It's the same spelling. It just
I
has
mean,
like,
but Yahweh
okay, yeah.
Shai, Yahweh Shai is Lashawan Kodesh, which was a made up Hebrew from the
Okay,
One
hold
West
on. No, I
founders.
get their reasoning. You saying that Yahushua is Joshua, and what I'm saying is that Hamashiach was never called Joshua.
Say it again. Hamashiach was never called Joshua. Well, Joshua is an English name.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Emmanuel means God with us, or with us is God, and I'm gonna go to
That's
Maherlo.
actually not. That's not technically what that's saying either.
Okay, so
I'm I'm means people or tribe. It's actually saying like God with the people. But they put us, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what English do. They're not giving you the full understanding of the words.
okay, God with the people.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's really what it's kind of saying.
Okay, all right. That is
So I'm is tribe. Since you're right there, I'm the first two letters.
Hold on, let me go back to it.
You right there. Now you was right there. Go back to the top because it shows the whole word right there.
I understand you got a lag on your phone. But I'm going right
Yeah.
back.
So you got I'm, right, which is the tribe, right? And then you got new. When you have new at the end of the word, it's just saying like R. So it's like saying our tribe, God. That's actually what it's saying. So in English, you would translate that as God, God of ours with the people.
Oh, saying our God.
Yeah, new is our. So like if I say I be new, then I'm saying our Father. Anytime you see new in a word or new at the end of a word, it means like ours.
Okay. But it's like not at the end of the word, so that's actually two words.
Say it again.
That new is not at the end of the word. So it's actually
Yeah,
two
it don't
words.
necessarily have to be. It don't always have to be at the end. Sometimes it can be at the beginning. Sometimes
Okay.
it be in the middle. Sometimes it be in the end. Especially in names, like when names are constructed, that's usually how it goes like that.
Okay. All right. Now, what does this mean?
I have to see the Hebrew on it. Mahar is quick. The first word is quick, and then you have Shalah, which I ain't used to seeing. I know that Shal means like the wheel, so it's like saying the wheel of director. Then you have Kasha, and then you have Baz. So Mahar is quick, wheel, direction, Kush. That's what is that? I can't remember what the Chet Sheen is, but I know Baz is like to plow or like to flow. So it's saying like quickly do something or something like that.
Okay. So
Or
it says
right.
swift is booty, swift is speedy as prey.
Yeah, that's what they translated as. But I'm not big on theirs. I kind of go by the Uber math.
Okay.
But what's interesting about it is they put all of those words together. Like that's not a name. Actually, that's a phrase. You can see it as you read it, how it's spaced out like that.
Uh-huh.
So those are the type of little tricks and things that they do in
Where can we
scripture.
get your dictionary?
Uh, call me and send me the money through PayPal. It's $100 online, but I give discounts to people who I know or whatever. So then you just want to kind of call me and send me like the money through PayPal, which would be like a third of the price cheaper.
You want
You know
to
what I mean?
put your phone number out or?
Yeah, it's 414-399.
Mm-hmm.
9573.
Okay, so that's how you get the even math dictionary. Many corrections to
So you can break down those words and and really get what it's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like they use the word booty, you know what I mean, like booty, but really, what a booty is like something that you catch, you know what I mean, like for sport, or you know what I mean, something you cut or plunder, you know what I mean. But they use these weird words, and it's like we Negroes, we ain't what the hell is the booty, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. All right, so you see that that's two different definitions. You got our God, and you got quick booty. quick booty.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's why you need to get the even math.
Right. So that you can
Nah,
get the
what's childish is
spiritual.
you over talking me, dude, and talking to me like I'm a kid.
I
That's what
wasn't talking to you like you was a kid. You wouldn't let
you
me finish
was,
my
dude.
point.
Come on, I'm finna go here anyway. I don't care what you say. Get
I
mad.
don't see why you was getting mad, man, just because I
I
disagreed.
won't get mad. I don't care about nobody disagreeing with nothing
Well,
ever.
it seemed like you didn't want me to get my information out.
Man, I had a question.
Okay, well, that's what I was trying to say. Reiterate your question because I didn't know what you was trying to do.
Nah, you was trying to go straight to chapter 8. I tried to reiterate the question over and over again. You said, "Man, I'm finna go to chapter 8."
It sounded like you was refuting my argument without seeing the other.
I was refuting it, but
Okay,
at the
so
same time, I was having questions so that I can catch up with your logic because you seem to comprehend your breakdown, so I wasn't comprehending your breakdown. So I had to slow it down. You think too fast. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
The,
too
the,
fast like that.
a big problem with this stuff is English, man. Like if I say extra virgin olive oil, and I say the young woman is a virgin, those two words for virgin are two different things. You know what I mean? Like it's two different understandings. It's like when you relate virgin to a woman, automatically from an English paradigm, you're thinking about somebody who hasn't had sex. But I don't believe that that's what that's technically talking about. Like in the book of Revelations, when it speaks about that all of the 144 were actually virgins, I don't believe that those are people who didn't have sex. You see what I mean? I believe that's a person of the word ilim, which means the above manifest. You see what I mean? Like that they've been born from on above. I believe that's what it's talking about when it's speaking about virgin. But English uses the word virgin. So then our mindset makes us go there, you know, when talk about sex and things like that.
Yeah, I believe it's talking about men who haven't had sex. So I think it's a future time where the people are going to be raised properly, and the men are going to be unsexed virgins who are taught, trained well in the word, and trained in governing and all that stuff.
Okay, I'm with you. I mean, I understand why you believe that, and am I saying that that's absolutely false? I'm not saying that. I don't know. And that's one thing about Yazoo. If it's something that I don't know for sure, then I'm just gonna say I don't know for sure. But the things that I do know, you know what I mean, is what Yahoo reveals. So you know,
But that's why everybody need to get your book so they can be on your level, and then y'all can have intelligible conversations about the real words.
right?
and Isle is also the Aramaic version of all. That's
Yeah, it
the
is.
word you're talking about, Isle, which is virgin,
Yeah, yeah,
virgin in Isaiah 7:14.
yeah. They sound very very similar. So you say al or el, or you say il or ilion. Like they'll say ilion, ilion, il, and that il is like high or above or about, that type of thing. When you say el, you're speaking about power or strength. Then they sound very similar.
Hey, now would you say that Lim is similar to the Ulam
Ulam,
for the
ulam.
eternal?
Yes, it absolutely is. It's the same thing actually. It just has a u in it. The u makes ilim. You're exactly right. Those are the same exact word. It's just that the u makes it occupational, meaning like it is that thing. Like it's the connection to the thing, so to speak. So I always use this example. It's kind of hard to, explain, but like you have a person that fishes and you have a fisherman. You see what I mean? So like when you see the ooh in something, it's like being the fisherman. When you just see like the you in something, it's like you just doing it at that time. Same thing with like haya and hua. You see what I mean? Hua is like the exister, like I'm the exister. But haya is saying like exist, like this time, that time, that type of thing.
Hey, while we on
It, it, it
the
makes
language and
it's
stuff,
just like
it,
Say it again.
does Ra mean evil?
Now you
Ra?
talking about rye. Rye
You
is
talking
to
about Ra?
see.
Ra.
I don't believe that rye means evil. I believe that rye means shepherd. Like you'll see that, which is like the head focus. Which what the thing about it, why they translate it as evil, is because to become the head focus or the head or a shepherd, you have to go through evil, so to speak. You see what I mean? So that's how they translate words, by what you might have to go through. You see what I mean? So they'll say, like how it says in Isaiah when Yahuwah says, I create the good and the evil. Good is not necessarily what we think as well. Told represents to sweep the house, meaning like you own you're on even keel, so to speak. You know what I mean? But ride means like I'm gonna have to climb this mountain type of thing. So then a person will look at climbing the mountain or doing something to get somewhere as well. They look at it as evil. We look at it as like, okay, this is something we have to go through. So then that's why they translated it like that.
Hey, and the Ratazar too, like that goes another thing too with the way that I've learned how to pronunciate root words from Yizu because
Mhm.
when you said like Ra, the first thing that pops into my head is to see or a seer or a vision. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But that Ra, what you're talking about, is spelled with an I in, so
hmm
we would say Ra instead of Ra.
hmm
Yeah, I definitely need that book.
Shalom.
Got any more words?